How's the family?
Good, thank you.
How is the family? Last time I talked to you, you and your wife were getting over a case of some sort of parasite in your colon.
Oh yeah, that was me. Yeah.
You. I thought you passed it to her or something.
No, well, I had a flesh-eating parasite in my stomach that I got in Afghanistan. And they always say, whatever you do, don't drink LOT in Afghanistan.
Oh, don't I know it?
And I was interviewing the head of the Taliban, and he's like, have some tea, because it's a cultural thing. And you're like, no, thanks, I'm not, And they're like, have the tea. And then there's silence in the room. So you're like, well, I guess I'll drink the tea. I drank the tea, cut to me, getting the butt drill, and where they check for parasites. And I had the doozy of all parasites.
But it doesn't affect them because they're so used to it?
I was supposed to get exactly. Yeah. So I was supposed to get
like Mexico.
Like Mexico, Montezuma's revenge.
Right.
There you go. Water, which, by the way, I've had many times as well. I have a lot of laws about traveling. One is the worse the GDP, the better the chicken, because it's like yard birds, and so the chicken, you're like, this chicken is delicious, but also the more you need a toilet, the worse that toilet's going to be. So
that's so true.
If you're in sub-Saharan Africa, it's just going to be arcing ropes of shit everywhere.
Well,
but if you're in Japan, where you're just going to have a perfect it's got like songs, and it'll wipe and blowing airs. And,
it's got songs.
It's got songs. Yeah, you press the button.
No, I know. I've been to people's houses here in wealthy Los Angeles where I, rarely leave except for other parts of America, which is why I admire you so much. And I can't figure out how to use the toilet.
Yeah.
It's so complicated. It's like I have to like sheepishly walk out and say, listen, my pee is in your toilet. Thank God it wasn't nothing more severe, but because I just can't figure it out.
I am addicted to Japanese toilets, I must admit. I have PTSD from so much time on the road and so many stomach parasites. So Japanese toilets are my one luxury.
If people don't know what we're talking about, I mean, Vice, which started out, of course, as a magazine in Canada and then became this awesome show, which I had the honor of being an executive producer on, which means I did very little and slapped my name on it. But you and your crew and your intrepid reporters, but you leading them as the general, went all around the world to the worst places. I mean, that's what Vice was known for. It's why it was such an awesome show.
Oh.
And it was on HBO for how many years?
7 years.
And you would go to Venezuelan prisons, and you would go to Afghanistan, and you would go to Somalia, and just. I mean, it's amazing that you don't look any worse for the wear. Really.
Thank you.
I mean, but you got rid of the parasite?
Yeah. I mean,
how do you get rid of that thing?
Just very, very strong antibiotics, which, probably will make me grow thumbs out of my back when I'm older, but,
yeah,
there you go. No. Yeah, I mean, those were the good old days when how that's all started was, we were in Iraq, and it was we were shooting the only heavy metal band in Baghdad, and it was not a political thing, but we were there when W went and said mission accomplished, and he was in the green zone and we were in the red zone, and everyone was shooting at us, and we're like, the war's not over, and they're like, see, that's real news, and we're like, real news? We're talking about heavy metal, and so what we decided to do is just go there, production is just a plane ticket. So we're just $2,000. I think I flew to Liberia for $600 on Belgian Air. And we went to, because we had done this story in Vice where where a container had been stolen from a ship, and it had Tupac Shakur t-shirts in it. So of course it became an army's uniform, the Tupac Army. And they fought General Butt Naked's army, who fought naked. And so that's a very Vice story.
Right.
General Butt Naked versus the Tupac Army. So we're like, well, why don't we just go there?
What do you think, if you had to be forced to move, is the worst place in the world? Where would you least like to have to go? I'm sure it's quite a final
plethora.
four. I mean like North Korea,
Oh,
Afghanistan. I mean, there's some great contenders for worst country to live in. Of course, the kids here in America, they know the answer. America.
right.
They live in the best place with
Yeah.
all our flaws at the best time in history,
Best time in
and they
history.
think they're living at the worst time
Best time in
in the
history.
worst place.
Best time in history.
That's by far.
Yeah. I was saying that to someone the other day. You know, I'm Gen X, and Gen X were this sort of forgotten generation, and the Boomers are on one side and Z's on the other side, and we had this weird, existence of not being anywhere
Right.
really. And I was explaining to someone, I'm like, if you believe Carl Sagan, which I do, saying, look, there's billions of years and of evolution, billions and billions of planets, right? And there's this one tiny fucking window when humans can exist without mastodons killing us and like getting gutted by like a fucking pitchfork.
Right.
And we live in that sort of one window. And not only did we live in that window, we live in the Gen X window, which was like no war, economic prosperity. You could travel. There's luxury. There's Japanese toilets.
AIDS. I always say the 90s.
Right.
Between AIDS and terrorism.
Right.
Like AIDS, and not AIDS is still around, but like when it became not the terror it was in the 90s, and terrorism was something that was still done. It was still being done in movies.
Yeah, and no big war, and so lots of freedom,
Clinton
luxury, travel, seeing the world, great food, foodieism, hipsterism. And now, like if you look at the environment, you look at AI, going to be a huge disruptor. You look up and you say there's a good possibility that Gen X might have been the greatest single generation to live in history, luckiest in history. And I'm like, you know what? We should be happy every.
And also I always say that I called Gen X the last sane generation because they were the last free range generation. I mean, I don't know if
100%.
I don't know if you ever read Bret Easton Ellis's book, the last one. It's not a fiction. It's he wrote a novel that he wrote a novel since, but this one was about 5 years ago. We had him on the show. Not a good talk show guest, but a great writer.
Yeah, great writer.
And he wrote, I think it's called White.
Right. I'm going to read it.
And it's a lot about being a free range kid in the 70s.
Yes.
And
go.
Yeah, and of course, as a boomer, that was not even discussed. Of course, you were free range.
Yeah, go. Go play in the creek.
I mean, it was actually the reverse was horrible. If you were somehow needed your parents to shepherd you to places.
Yeah.
They were like, I'm not a chauffeur.
Yeah. Life was Stand By Me. You went out, there were dead kids, there were leeches, there were fucking trains, and then you come back going, Mom, I lived! And you just shut up, eat your TV dinner, and go to bed.
And it was fun.
So fun.
So fun.
And
look, made us better.
Well, look, I don't know what the fuck happened, and a lot of people have written a lot of shit about this, but we went from literally having no parental supervision to being like, I guess we're known as like the most supervised, I guess, because we didn't have any and we're like there, but for the grace of God, I didn't die. So now we're overly suffocating or something. I don't know. But like, why are our kids so parented and we kind of weren't parented? You know what I mean? I don't understand that.
Well, we weren't over-parented. I was definitely parented. I think they struck basically the right balance. Now, were they a little
hands off,
light on, well, like, I remember when I went through puberty, basically, and into like having my first girlfriend. I mean, there was so little discussion of it in the house before, so little of making me feel comfortable with it. My father and I had one,
birds and bees
discussion, yes, and I remember he opened it with, your mother thinks I should have this talk with you. Right away, the disclaimer. I'm distancing myself from this already. Not my idea.
I have to do it.
And but mother thinks we should have a discussion about sex. And I said, what is it you want to know, Dad? No, I didn't say that because I certainly didn't know much either.
Right.
We were very innocent in that era, but it was about 3 minutes of the most excruciatingly awkward, embarrassing, and then we both were like, okay, we did it. We filled the quota barely, but we had some sort of thing where the penis goes in the vagina,
Right.
and let's just keep painting the deck, because we were like painting the deck.
Right.
Like he chose that as the moment.
That's the time. We're going to be working, so I don't have to look at you.
Right. We have an activity. It was like a director in a sitcom. Gotta have an activity while you're doing it. Yeah. You're unpacking the groceries while you're having the discussion about your marriage.
I got if she comes home pregnant, I'm going to kill you myself, kind of thing. It was like
From your father?
Yeah, it was a given. It was a given that probably because.
But did you get the talk about the?
I think.
Do you remember that?
I think he had. I think he knew I knew pretty much everything, because he knew how much of his porn I had snuck into.
Your father had porn?
Oh yeah.
Like magazines, old school magazines.
Magazines, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I grew up on.
And I remember like
which one?
Videos and
Were there Canadian ones? Were there
like Playboy?
Where the pussy was very polite?
I remember, yeah. Thank you. I remember he had one which was, do you remember Chicholina? Oh, Jesus.
Chicholina.
Bum. Do you remember Chicholina?
I don't.
Chicholina? Chicholina.
Who is that?
So famous, because that's what I said, would you remember? Speaking of politically incorrect, Cicciolina was an Italian porn star.
Oh.
Who became a member of parliament in Italy.
Oh, yes.
And married Coons.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah. I didn't know her name was Cicciolina.
Yeah, Cicciolina.
That's her real name or her porn name?
I think that's her porn name.
Well, it matters to me.
Yeah. So he had a Cicciolina tape. So I was like, yeah, that's where I learned how to study politics right there.
Tape? Like a VHS?
VHS, yeah.
And you watched it when they weren't home?
Yeah, well, not when they were home, yeah.
But
then that'd be really fucking weird. Oh, Dad, are you listening?
Right.
Can you hear the Italian?
And what was it? Was it graphic?
Oh yeah.
Blowjob?
Mm-hmm.
And then fuck?
Everything, yeah.
Anal?
Probably not.
Right.
Anal's a recent thing.
Not for Cicciolina.
Not for Cicciolina.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's bad enough.
Yeah.
Well,
it's Italy. In Greece, that's
Cicciolina.
Cicciolina that would be where we go first.
Look, Cicciolina did not get fucked in the ass, and I'm not going to listen to this.
So that's what I think she said to somebody, Gorbachev, or some president. I will fuck you to stop this war, whatever war that particular war was.
The Italians have had a rough enough week without thinking that Cicciolina got fucked in the ass. Do you know why I say this?
Why?
Well, it was in the news yesterday that Columbus was a Jew.
Oh, God help us all.
Did you see that?
No.
No?
No.
They dug him up.
Right. Dug him up?
Yeah.
And to
Columbus.
do a
DNA
test?
Buried in Seville.
Really?
He wasn't originally buried there. He wanted to be buried, I think, on Hispaniola, because he discovered it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he never set foot in America, but it's another story. And then they moved the body at some point to somewhere else, and then it wound up in Seville. Is that what I just said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, in 1898, dug him up, did the DNA testing, and of course they can't say for sure that he was a Jew. I mean, it wasn't like the skeleton was wearing a yarmulke, but I mean, it was complaining about the air conditioning. Well, he's a skeleton. Come on, he's got no meat on him. Okay, so they said by the DNA, it's very highly likely that he was a Sephardic Spaniard.
Right.
I mean, he did go on his mission for Spain, of course, even though they said he was Italian. He probably was born, I think he was born in northern Italy at the time, Genoa, yes, which was a city-state.
Yes.
But Jews were born all over, as they were, diaspora. Yeah. You know, so he could have been that, and but they're saying, and then the drawings of him, I don't know how they get these drawings. I mean, he looks a little Jewy.
I did not see that, but it's very...
No. I mean, so if the kids needed one more reason to hate Columbus, now that they hate the Jews too, there you go. It's like the unified theory of Jew hating. The colonizers, Israel, Columbus is a Jew hater. 4 worst countries in the world to be in.
Look, to go there for a week, it's absolutely fascinating. We were, speaking about sort of...
Go where?
North Korea.
Oh.
North Korea for a week.
Oh, yeah, you went there a couple of times.
A bunch of times. But, like, to go there, it's like Disneyland for political wonks.
Oh, I remember. That was the Vice episode that got us the most publicity.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Well, if you remember what happened, we had shot the whole season. And we were very proud. We'd done a lot of stuff, done a lot of good work. And then the last thing was, I figured out, because I had been there a bunch, that they love basketball. And if we got, they love the Chicago Bulls. And we figured out if we could get the Chicago Bulls there, that they would. And so the Chicago Bulls wouldn't go. We called Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. They said, fuck you. But we called Dennis Rodman, and he said, I'm in. I'm signing, cards at the.
That's how that Rodman North Korea connection came about. It was Vice. It was you.
And we put the Harlem Globetrotters, who, by the way, are amazing. The Harlem Globetrotters are like the best ambassadors America could want.
Right.
So we went over, played the national team. It was a tie, and Kim Jong-un came and invited our crew.
I remember.
I remember. So I had, speaking of the stomach parasite, I had a hernia operation that I had to delay because of the stomach parasite. It's right at that time, so you have a good memory. I was in the bath reading I was reading my phone, I guess. I was reading the paper. No, I was reading the phone. And every fucking news site in the world shat on us from on high. They're stunt journalists, fuck Vice. And by the way, the BBC really shat on us. And they had just got caught for trying to sneak in with a school group. And you're like, you're going to endanger school kids, but I'm the fucking asshole? Anywho.
Oh, that's so infuriating. All these elitist, stupid journalists who are like lazy about the most basic things about journalism that they could look up or find out right here in America, shitting on you over in North Korea.
So because they couldn't get in, and so we got this, because everyone gets the same documentary of North Korea because they just give you the same one, and everyone has the same one. Anyway, so we got this thing, and I just remember we're just launching the show, and I remember being devastated because everyone was shitting on us. And Plepler called me up. He said one thing. He said,
Plepler, the president of HBO.
Plepler, shout out. You're a fucking genius. I love you.
My favorite.
The last of the great, him and Tom Freston, the last two great
truly
media moguls.
Was always had my back.
And my back, our back.
HBO.
Back.
And by the way, that job of having the back of people like us is not an easy one.
Not an easy one.
Because in cancel culture, which we lived through and still are living through, they come at you very hard. Like we will picket your office. We'll
put 5 journalists on you.
We will do
look
everything.
At your garbage.
So for a guy to stick up for us meant something. And
shout out to Plepler. One of the last, I always think, last of the great V8 interceptors. You were a fucking mensch. Anyway, Plepler called me when all that shit was going down. And he said, you know what they said about Rome? He said they had a one-word review, Carthage. And he said, look, you have a great show, don't worry about it. And we launched to a 5. We launched to a crazy number. And I realized, all of that publicity, no one gave a shit about us. No one knew about us except for you. And all of a sudden, we were this popular show because everyone had shat on us from on high. And the first episode, everyone was like, this is fucking awesome.
But also, it was such a great companion show for my show because it was also like, I know this sounds immodest, but like the only place where people could see real shit. So it was like my show into your show. I mean, Vice did not look like anything. I mean, 60 Minutes is the closest thing, and 60 Minutes has done much great work over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Much.
100%.
And they have gone to places that are dangerous, but not the way Vice did. Not as far under the fingernails.
Huge fan of 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
It used to be, the greatest news show ever made.
Yes. The only,
yeah.
The only, and then, and it's still great.
Yeah.
I still I have not missed an episode of 60 Minutes in the history of that run.
Another shout out, Jeff Fager, who ran 60 Minutes for a long time, did a phenomenal job. But yeah, Plepler with us, he was always had our back.
And Don Hewitt, who invented it.
Yeah, Don Hewitt, amazing.
Who said, our job is to make interesting what's important.
Exactly. There you go. Bang. That should be today. Bango.
Well, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why that quote is in my mind is because I live by it, or try to, and I've always remembered it.
Yeah.
Our job, if you watch, I used to watch the nightly news, and then I watched it almost just to make fun of it, and now I can't even watch it.
Can't watch it.
Because it should be renamed, some video we found that was cool that we thought we'd show you. I mean, you get about 3 minutes of real news before you're into like, a plane had a problem. Unless they all died, shut the fuck up. I
Right.
don't give a shit. It's not a story, and they show a shaky plane or something and passengers freaking out. When all the shit that they could be covering goes uncovered,
Well,
which is the kind of shit you covered, and then by the time you get to the last segment, it's just the one-legged skier.
Well, I think it's worse than that. I think it's fucking op-ed. It's so, like, you get, like, whatever, 15, minutes maybe of some sort of video, like you're saying, which is not the video they should be showing. And then let's all talk about the video and what we think about the video. Everybody's just talking about it, op-ed, and you're like, I don't give a shit what you have to say.
I mean, and that's where the better news is given. That's not even TikTok.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the mind of someone who gets their news from TikTok?
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a problem.
I mean, look, we have so many problems like that, problems of character,
Yeah.
problems of discipline, problems of minds that are just mush, including one of the candidates for president that we're going to be voting for is just, I mean, not that he always hasn't been an insane person, maybe not always, because like that movie that just came out about him, The Apprentice, is awesome. If you haven't seen it,
I haven't seen it.
it is so good. The reason why it may not do well, and I hope it does well, in the way Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11 did really well before the 2004 election, is that it's people, if they hate Trump, it's like, okay, I'm not going to see it because I wouldn't want to patronize him. It's an honest character study. Just look at it as that. He did change. He was his father's son. The father was awful and partly made the son who he is. So I know people who saw it and said, I don't like it because it's sympathetic to Trump in the beginning. Well, maybe he is sympathetic in the beginning. He was collecting like rents from his father. He opens the door and they throw hot water on him because that's what happens when you were a slumlord, which his father was sometimes, and people didn't want to pay the rent. And then, it's just, if you just watch it as a study of a human, it's quite interesting. And then, of course, it's very brutal to Trump in the second half. But he did change.
Right.
He did become this monster.
But don't you think, I'm asking the one guy who knows and is probably going to tear me to shit for saying this, don't you think that all politicians are sort of narcissistic, charming megalomaniacs?
Not all, no. I mean, there's a tribute in my book to a guy named Henry Waxman, who you probably never heard of, and that's why.
That's why.
He's so great.
Okay.
It's a tribute. We did it as an editorial. We gave him the Baldy Award. He's a bald, bespeckled congressman who single-handedly wrote,
I mean the big boys.
Wrote probably all the progressive legislation since, like 1980. He's not in Congress anymore, but he was until recently. There's a Republican who said, if you don't like progressive legislation, it's something like, it's because you were looking away while Henry Waxman was, I mean, everything from, seat belts, that kind of stuff. Anything that aids, recognizing aid. He just did it all.
He was a political mechanic.
He was just a guy who wanted to do the job.
Right.
That guy, you don't find that often in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
You don't often find it in the Democrats, but much more often. Democrats are wonks. Hillary's a wonk. Obama's a wonk. They really care about the work, and they know in detail that what you need to know about the work. Republicans have this idea, oh no, big picture. Bush, we got attacked, war. Where, sir? I don't know. I'm not a detail man. You figure that out.
Republicans have wonks too, but
No, they're not.
Come on.
Name one Republican wonk.
All of the neocons.
Neocons?
Yeah.
Oh, like
Wolfowitz,
Snowcraft,
Rumsfeld, Haney.
Yeah,
they were policy wonks.
They're not in the office. I'm talking about Republican versus Democratic politicians.
Right.
You can't name any Republican wonks who really care about I mean, that's not true. I'm sure they do. Some of them do their work, and I'm glad they do their homework because, again, I don't trust the left either. But generally, the people who just want to make policy and make lives better and make government work better, yes, they spend too much money and they have a lot of flaws, but they generally tend to be people like Obama and Hillary Clinton. They're wonky people who like the idea of government. They know all the things. There's another, I think, a great one we did about celebrities who want to be in office and
But
mocking.
Reagan had a cabinet of wonks. I mean, he put a cabinet of wonks.
It's a long time ago.
He was the Queen of England, and Schultz was the ultimate wonk. You know, exactly.
Yes, you're right, but that's a different era and a different Republican.
Agreed.
That Republican's gone.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, but
wonky.
Yeah, but that Republican doesn't exist much anymore.
Yes.
I mean, they exist on the outskirts. I mean, they exist writing articles for you know, what's the Republican magazine that?
Well, don't put me on the spot.
No, you don't know that. What?
No.
I'm stoned, so I can't think of it.
Oh,
but
shit.
you know, they have one. It gets
Republican
like
magazine.
yeah. There's a hardcore right wing. It's very influential. I mean,
Drudge Report. Oh.
No, I don't know. We'll Chiron it later.
Yeah.
But it's very influential. It was very influential in the Iraq War. You know, they were like all for the surge, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not completely crazy, but I think they were against Trump at the beginning.
Right. Well, the Republicans were against Trump in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then he took over the GOP.
Mm.
You know, that's what happens with you know who I liked? You know who was wonkish and a political mechanic and who got fucked by his own party? John Boehner. He was trying to make shit work. He got fucked for even meeting with Obama.
I wouldn't call him a mechanic.
He was a political mechanic. He worked on consensus. He tried to make shit happen.
He was a drunk.
Yeah.
He was
but a charming drunk.
Maybe. Okay, some drunks are. I don't know. I never met him. I know he used to burst into tears if he saw an American flag.
He was emotional.
In a
emotional cat.
in a sandwich.
Emotional cat.
Yeah.
But listen, he got kicked out by his own party for just meeting with Obama.
I'll take him and his I weep about how much I love America, much more than I will the kids who think America's the worst place in the world.
I agree.
And I mean, really, I mean, the idea that I've heard the term "death to America" now chanted on American soil. I mean, I've heard it as you have, and you've been to these places. Chanted in Tehran.
A lot of those people have never left America. Is the issue.
Well, that's the point. They need to talk to you.
Yeah, well, listen, I come back here, I'll tell you the truth. Every time I come back here, I'm like, it's paradise. I love it. I love it.
Right. But you're exactly the person who needs to talk to the kids who think they live at the worst time in the worst country.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. From someone who's been there. You know, look, every generation looks back at the former generations and go, oh, these kids today, I mean, they did it to us.
Sure.
But the difference is that I don't remember my views on things that I had no idea about because I was too young, taken as seriously as these kids are.
Yeah. Well, because Gen Z, so the baby boomers were the largest media economic cohort, socioeconomic cohort ever, and we're so till today when they're dying off. So now it's going to be Gen Z. So Gen Z are going to run shit, and just like the baby boomers did. The problem now is you have kids coming out of college and being like, I read a book, and so therefore this is what and you're like, look, go to these places. Go see what it's like to never have a kick at the can, ever. And if you have the wrong name or the wrong accent, you and your kids kids will never have a kick at the can, ever. And so, look, I'm an immigrant. I came here with nothing. And you're like, it's still the American dream. It's still a place where you can go from rags to riches, where you can manifest destiny, where you can make it all happen. And you can say what you want about a lot of other places, but you can't do that, I would say, in 94% of the globe.
What's so ironic is that the thing they really hate, because they're so uneducated, they only really know black and white. Right. And I mean literally black and white.
Right.
Everything is seen through this lens of identity politics. Mm-hmm. So white people bad. Everything they did was bad. So ironic, because everything that makes their lives possible was, I'm sorry, probably invented through Athens, Rome, Jerusalem, Philadelphia, London. Right. You know, I mean, rule of law, free and fair elections, respect for minorities. These are all the things that make life good. The fact that we have protected markets, that you can actually do business without it being dominated by corruption. I mean, these are the things that make life good for everybody. Human rights, the idea of you get a trial by jury. They take all these things for granted. People made these ideas up and fought and died for them. I'm sorry some of them are white. I wish it all happened in Wakanda.
Look, it's hard to argue with. I will say that there was a time when England especially went out, took all the resources from everywhere, brought them back to England, manufactured them, and then sold them back to the rest of the world. And being an ex-colonial, you're like, yeah, I grew up loving British comedy and British fucking TV and British books and British, but they were doing some bad fucking things.
The British to Canada?
To everybody.
To
the
everybody.
Empire. The Empire.
But not as bad to you as they did to people.
Not as bad as Africa.
What did they do bad to you? They did bad to the natives.
Well,
they did bad to the natives.
If you want to look at World War I and World War II, Canadians were known as cannon fodder. In fact, D-Day, they just sent the Canadians on the first waves to get killed.
Problem? No.
So we were
really? Canadians were cannon fodder?
Famously, they'd send in the Canadians and the Australians.
I bet you they took it very
Kiwis.
Very politely.
Thank you. No, we were cannon fodder for the Brits, as were all the colonies. I shouldn't just say us. I mean, it was
right.
The colonies went in first.
There's a great scene in Braveheart where Braveheart, of course, takes place in Scotland in 1315 when the Scots were looking to be free from the Brits, and William Wallace, played by Mel Gibson, brilliantly in a brilliant movie, whatever you think of his politics. The bad guy is King. Who was the king in England at the time? King John.
William Wallace, was it? No, he's William Wallace. It was.
No, he's William Wallace. No, I think it was King John or King Edward. I think Edward.
Edward.
Played by the Patrick McGowan.
He's so good. Yeah.
He
threw the dude out the window. Amazing scene.
Yes. And it's one of those scenes that you see in all the movies where there's medieval battles, and one side is arrayed on a battlefield against the other, and they're about to do it. They're about to throw down with all of them and run at each other. I mean, the fact that men do this just says a lot about how bad men are. Okay, but they're going to do it, and the guy says to King Edward, Patrick McGowan, should we send in, or should we do the archers now, sir? And he said, no, send in the Irish.
Yeah.
The Irish, sir? He says, yeah, arrows cost $1 a piece.
Arrows cost $1. Yeah. And then the Irish run out, and the other Irish guy convinced them to come over. And he goes, you can never trust the Irish. And then they go in.
I'm always making this point about the past. It's like, we grow up historically as a species in a way that's completely analogous to the way we grow up as individuals. You don't expect you of 10 years old to have any sense of right or wrong or morality or what's wrong. And when we were, in 1315 or whatever, or, 2000 BC, whatever, humans were nobody even thought that slavery was wrong in biblical times. We know because we have the Bible.
Sure.
And there's no one ever says, let's just not do it.
Every country, well, now country, but everywhere. Historical, every country all had slaves.
Black, white, and in between.
I was reading some stat that there's more slaves today than there's ever been, like numerologically.
That's bullshit.
Well, because there's a lot of slaves out there.
There's not a lot of slaves. I looked into this also.
Okay.
There's not a lot of slaves.
No.
There's people, where the people who are resemble it most closely are rich Gulf states like Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, that have these workers, right? Usually from Asia, Bangladesh, the Philippines. They treat them about as bad as you can treat a worker.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's so close to slavery, indentured servitude.
Yeah.
But of course, because they're people of color, we cannot
Well, we do
the
say, I mean,
criticism is not as
we actually did that. We snuck into where the camps where they live as they're making the high rises and all of this
right.
business. We actually did that, and you're right. I mean, it's as close as you get. I mean, what I'm talking about. Apparently, I'm not. I shouldn't speak on it because I don't know the stats, so I don't really know. But
Yeah, but you did story on it.
But we did story. No, I'm saying on wage servitude, where they take your passport and they don't give you the money, and you stay there for 22 years and you never pay off your debt. I mean, but I'm talking about
It's very close.
very close.
I'm just saying, if they did that in Belgium,
Yeah.
I think it would be a bigger story.
Yeah. Well, sure. Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is one of the real big problems of the left.
Yeah.
Like, only white people can do bad things.
Look,
that's just white people have done terrible
today
things.
more than ever.
Right.
That's the one. I don't know where is that a university thing? Because it seems like university is percolating into mainstream.
You know, this Chapel Roan open letter I did last week, talking about Israel, thinking I could reason with someone who has shown an ability to reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's so interesting. It did amazing business. When I say business, I mean retweets and over 10 million, which is a lot for us.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, and very little blowback. Like, there's no way to argue. It's so hard to argue with the pictures of the women in burqas.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like, once you show that picture, which is apropos, to this conflict, if you think it isn't, again, you don't know much about history or the present. It's just so hard. So this is kind of infuriating to me. You may have had it happen to you too. It's like, when they can't argue with me, they just ignore it.
Right.
It's like, I can't win this argument, so I'm just not going to engage. And in 3 days, we'll all be talking about something else.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to say two things, probably going to light up the Twitter sphere, but the one thing was, and I remember saying this a lot during our reporting, after 9/11, you were like, look, 9/11, like you were saying, there was a period of non-terrorism. 9/11 changed the world, right? It galvanized the world into two camps. It did exactly what Osama bin Laden wanted. It was a very successful piece of terrorism. If you look at it just organic. Now, if you look at what was happening in the Middle East, which I was there reporting on, the Abraham Accords were ratified, where the GCC were going to recognize Israel, the biggest thing since 1947.
I got to stop here. The Abraham Accords were something that happened in the Trump administration.
Correct. Under Jared
Kushner to get, and they successfully got Bahrain,
Oman, Saudi, the G7.
Morocco.
Yeah.
To have a treaty with Israel, and Israel
recognizes Israel.
And Israel already has and recognizes Israel, and Israel already has that with Jordan, and with Egypt. So
groundbreaking, huge.
I mean, mostly what you hear about Israel, and it's certainly true, is that it's surrounded by enemies because they are surrounded by Hezbollah in the north and Gaza. But here are if you could neutralize the Gaza situation somehow. Now you've got Egypt, long-standing treaty there, Jordan to their other side, treaty, and now these other countries, and they were about to get Saudi Arabia.
So, if you look, this is my long-winded thing from 9/11, is the Abraham Accords, again under Trump and Jared, biggest thing since 47, at least bigger than since Camp David and Jimmy Carter.
Right.
Massive, 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 massive thing. The problem with that is the enemy of my enemy becomes my friend. So Iran sees this and says, hold on a second.
Right.
We have Israel and the GCC, our two biggest enemies.
GCC, even I don't know what that is.
Oh, Jesus, now you're going to call me out and I've had a few drinks. The Gulf Cooperation Council or Committee, it's basically the 7 or 8 Gulf states, right? The ones you just mentioned.
The ones that are keeping the Pakistanis in indentured servitude.
So they were going to recognize Israel and do all this stuff, So Iran sees this and goes, fuck, if that happens, we're screwed because we've got the GCC and Israel together. So they pay for the 3 H's. They pay for the Houthis. They pay for Hamas. They pay for Hezbollah. And all of a sudden, Hamas comes out, like out of nowhere, comes and starts doing these heinous, fucking terrible 9/11 style attacks. And by the way, it fucking worked. The Middle East now has gone 20 years backwards. The GCC, the Abraham Accords have gone out to, everybody's just, you know what, fucking Israel's now on its fucking island again. And Iran just said, go do it, because they've been paying their salaries for the past 20 years. And you're like, they fucking won. Because they
didn't win because the war isn't over.
No, but hold on. That's not what I'm saying. Not saying. I'm saying they destabilized the region again.
Yeah.
Again. And at some point, we have to say, look, terrorism can't fucking win every fucking game.
Right.
They're not allowed to win every game.
No, I really wish you had some sort of seminar that the kids would listen to, but they probably wouldn't, because you're over 50. Are you over 50?
Oh, man. Yes, look at me. I'm over 50.
Okay, yeah, you look great.
I'm over 50.
I mean, I don't know how old you are. You're generically middle-aged, which is as good as you can. It's as good as you can be.
Love you.
I mean, I'm older than you. I know that.
You look fucking good.
Well, thanks.
We're just a fucking mutually beneficial society.
Yeah. Hey, what kind
you
of
look good, dude.
What kind of show you
You
think
got a
this
full
is?
head of hair. Look at you.
I do. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but you're dating supermodels. You got a full head of hair. Let's fucking go, man.
Well, I'm not dating supermodels, but I have, and it's not good.
Let's go.
Well, come on.
The kids say LFG. That's what we're doing.
Let's fucking go.
There we go, brother.
But I mean, we do need someone to crack through.
Well, someone needs to say sane shit, which you do.
I know,
we need to say sane shit.
But then we need to get. I mean, the point about Chapel Roan was like, but can I get her to watch it? Can I get her, or not her, yes, her would be great, but also those people to pay attention to what I'm saying. My point about, like, nobody really on the internet was able to refute it, because it's irrefutable. What I'm saying, you can't refute. Israel was in that land forever. It is their ancestral homeland. There have always been Jews there. It does not the same thing as colonizing. Whatever thing where I'm going against the bullshit that they've learned on TikTok, that they're colonizers, that it's an apartheid state, all this, that they're committing genocide. There have been genocides committed in the world. This is not one of them, and they could if they wanted to. The reason why so many people have died is because Hamas uses their civilians as shields.
True.
They're responsible for this. There is
a
a simple solution to this. Stop attacking Israel. Accept them as a state in the region. It is their ancestral homeland. There was a deal by the UN. I said this to Chapel Roan. We like them, right? You know, I'm trying to get through to these kids in any way I can. But if they just turn off and go, why should I listen to somebody that age who knows so much more than I do? Boring.
Well, I'm going to say three things.
How do you get that?
I'm going to say three things. You asked me the worst place in the world that I would live in.
Let's get to that.
I would say
Van Nuys.
I would say Van Nuys. I would say North Korea. The reason why I say North Korea, it's a fascinating place to go for a week, because you see Stalinist Russia in 1953 or Maoist China in 1962.
By the way, that's the one. If all the ones you're going to say, I would most agree. Number one.
Yeah,
it scares me.
But if you lived there,
oh my God!
If you lived there,
OMG!
We would hear stories of if you go to a concentration camp,
I can't even.
They eat kernels of corn out of cow shit.
Beyond, I can't even.
And so I'll say one other anecdote. I was driving in the country, which you're never allowed to do. And they don't have like villages in the country. They have like a one Stalinist apartment, like 50-story high building in the middle of nowhere. But they've ripped out all of the windows and
how does the Grubhub driver get there?
So check this out. So you have just forest and then this Stalinist, 50-story high thing that they built in like 1953. And then but they've pulled all the windows out because they had to sell them to China. They don't have any money. They've pulled the rebar out, so it looks like a concrete-eating woodpecker has, so it's just got holes. But they're on the 50th floor, and you look up, and there's cooking fires. So you're like, hold on a second. These guys are carrying up, there's no water, so they're carrying water from the stream and wood to have cooking fires on floor 49. And you're like, okay, you want to know where I don't want to live? There, right? Now, that said, I'm going to invoke your ire.
What I'm hearing, Shane, is that you're a racist and you hate Asians. That's what I'm hearing.
The opposite, sorry. My producer's laughing because he knows the truth about that. But what I will say is I spent a lot of time in Israel, and I love it.
Like Tel Aviv?
Tel Aviv, Jerusalem. I mean, there's one city block, which is like Christianity, Judaism, and Islam on the same block. And you're like, okay, same God, same fucking thing. Everybody shut up. And I love it. I love Israel. I've also spent a lot of time, like my secret was Lebanon. I used to love going to Beirut, and everyone goes, stay safe, dude. Cut to me on the fucking beach, eating branzino,
Right.
drinking wine, going to the fucking open air, the best club in the world.
Right.
Babes, everyone like, yeah, it's super dangerous. Don't ever come here.
But what year is this?
See, exactly. So before all of everybody left and before, but I've spent a lot of time in the region, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go back to North Korea. When we did the Rodman thing, what you realize is people are fucking people. And the kids love the basketball, and the young kids love the fucking Harlem Globetrotters, and the regime is fucked up. The regime is fucking terrible, and I'll say that fucking, my hotel should have been Hotel Murder, because it just reeked of fucking murder and fucking blood. And you're like, I don't want to ever come back here. Sorry if I'm applying for a visa.
This was an Omni?
This was an Omni. By the way, their version of an Omni. So North Korea never wanted, because it's the antithesis of freedom. That said, the people of North Korea were just fucking there for a fucking basketball game, and they were bringing tears to their eyes because I like fucking basketball, and the Americans were there. You go to fucking Israel, they're fucking nice people, they're beautiful people. You go to Palestine, they're beautiful, nice people. You go to the region, you go to Saudi, you go to everyone. There's so much propaganda. The Saudis are so fuck. It's not true. These guys are so fuck. It's not true. The people are fine.
I had the same experience making Religulous.
Yeah.
We shot the last scene in a, area where we wanted to have dinner was Palestinian run, and but the bodyguards were super nervous. They spent an hour checking out the restaurant before they let us in.
Sure, yeah.
And then when we got in, it's like they were happy to have our money.
Beautiful.
And we were happy to have their food. We were starving.
Yeah.
And you realize just what you said. Yeah. It's all about the politicians. And it'd be so easy to solve all of these problems. Israel and the Palestinians could totally get along.
Oh, like same people, same food, same names, same language. And you sit there and you go, if we could just fucking be people. And that's why when people start talking about shit as if they understand it, they've never been there. They're talking about regime. No. They're talking about policies. They're not talking about the people. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's what pisses me off.
Right. And you're right. Same everything. Semitic people. I have an organization called One Nose because they have the same nose. And I would like to solicit donations today to One Nose. It's
my
dedicated.
Lord.
It's dedicated.
What was your old fucking show called? Politically Incorrect? Holy shit, man. You've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah. And I haven't changed. They have.
No, you're a beautiful baby boy. Your mom and I love you very much.
Well, yeah. No, I hope that the kids can get some wisdom somehow shoehorned.
Everybody needs to fucking
shoehorned in there because, again, their go-to is you're old or, get off my lawn. That's not an argument. That's what you say because you don't have an argument because you're too lazy to do the research and understand what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand it, then really you don't get a vote anyway.
Yeah.
But at least, I'm not trying to mock you. I'm just trying to educate you.
Sure.
And maybe you wouldn't wind up on this side. That's what I kept saying to Chapel Roan. Like, is this really the people you want to throw down with? The people that make their women wear burqas? You're a fucking drag queen singer. What you do would get you thrown off a roof in Gaza. You're on the wrong team here. You're on team, we think women are second-class citizens, and we're not afraid to say so. I mean, Gaza, the place where your heroes, Hamas, live, has no laws against, or effectively executed laws against sexual harassment or marital rape or, underage marriage, any of the things that are like, just de rigueur, we think are the worst things in the world here in America.
Like I'd say, you have a lot of people who have never been, like one of the things that we found is if you just go somewhere, and quite frankly, we look back at this glorious time of news like the Walter Cronkite era, and it was literally a stringer who never left the hotel drinking whiskey would get something and he would send it back. They would write it on a teleprompter. He'd read it and everybody believed it because it wasn't disproved.
Right.
And so one of the things we did, speaking of heavy metal in Baghdad, we started just going places. And for my first trip to Afghanistan, we won an Emmy for that. And because we found all these stories of misuse of funds and billions of dollars going missing, forts being taken over the Taliban. They're like, Shane, where did you get your fucking stories from? And I'm like, Sigger. Sigger is the Special Investigator General of Afghanistan. It's the American government. We just went and said, where's the fucking shit happening? But we went there. And what you find is nearly 90% of the time, completely the opposite of what everybody takes as a given, and because it's just fucking, this is the story and this is what we're saying.
In what way?
I mean, everything.
Like what?
Well,
like what's opposite?
Well, so I remember, well, for example, we went to Fallujah, and
That's Iraq.
Correct.
Oh, I thought you said Afghanistan.
Oh no, in Afghanistan. Oh, okay. So Afghanistan, for example, all the stories would be coming back. Oh, well, just everything. We're winning the war. There's no fucking heroin. We've convinced everybody this, whatever. And you're like, okay, I went there, and like heroin is like 90% of the world's heroin is coming from here. And everyone you would talk to are like, oh, the Americans leave, and the Taliban have more land than before they came in. Everyone.
It was it's as much of a redo of Vietnam.
Yeah, worse.
As Lady Gaga was of Madonna when she first came out. It was like the same thing, and somehow we forgot.
More expensive, longer.
But the same shtick.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if you're there, everyone's like, well, we're close to winning, and we've taken this territory. And if you're there, you're like, yeah, no, the Taliban have won. And the minute the Americans leave, they're going to run everything. They're going to have all of our money, all of our stuff. They're going to have all this, our heroin money and our legitimate money. They're going to take all our bullion, all our tanks, all our planes.
And they're going to make it even worse on the women.
Well, or on everybody.
I mean, they went so far to, I think some of this is just trolling us. I mean, like, this again was I was saying to Chappell, like, your heroes in Hamas are only slightly less conservative than the Taliban.
Right.
Who this last few weeks went to places where, again, I think this is just trolling, because already you're keeping women like head to toe covered.
Right.
But now they can't be heard in public.
Right.
Like,
you know that.
No singing.
Right.
No, their voice can, I mean, that's trolling, right? I mean, you've made your point, and now you're just saying, you know what, fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you, kids.
Look, I'm going to say,
what do we have to do to get you protesting us?
Hamas, if you spend any time in the region, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis. We were actually, I believe, shout out to Ben Anderson, one of the first to ever report on the Houthis.
And the Houthis, of course, are the ones in Yemen. Yemen, which is, the southern part of the Arabian Peninsula.
Yes.
Borders south there. And like, they have nothing to do with Palestine.
Correct.
And yet they're lobbing missiles at Israel.
Correct.
Nothing to do.
Also, the Houthi is a name, and there was one tribe, small little tribe from the north, Sadr, and
you were there in Yemen?
Oh, many times, yeah. I got arrested, and shout out to Haitham. Now, Haitham got me out of secret police prison.
When you fly into Yemen, it's a direct from Burbank?
Yeah, Van Nuys. I go from Van Nuys to fucking Yemen. Very difficult to get into Yemen.
How do you get into Yemen?
Surprise.
Don't say practice.
Yeah, practice. No, I took a freighter.
A freighter?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I took a freighter.
I feel so guilty, Shane. I have that same Emmy, and I've never been east of La Brea. I feel so guilty. But you know what?
You know what, dude? You don't have
I'll stay here with the women.
You don't have a stomach-eating, flesh-eating
I'll
parasite.
protect the women.
Yeah.
You go get the virus and the stomach-eating thing.
Not to be an asshole, but you are doing an essential thing of bringing what's important to people.
So true.
And hold on, can I say one thing?
Please.
The left does this thing about doing politics through humor. They're not funny, and their politics are shit. You're funny, and your politics are spot on. So well done, and that's important. And somebody has to do that.
I so appreciate that, especially since I can do that and still have dinner at Madero.
There you go. And since I can't do that, I have to go to Liberia and go, this shit's fucked up. Bill Maher.
Well, that's you know what? God, that I don't believe in, really did me a solid when he made me funny, because that makes up for so many things, and it allows you to just, yeah.
But you have
sit.
to shed light on the stuff that's important, and you have
Right.
to do it in an entertaining way. What I
But
found
how
out,
do you get into Yemen? You said a freighter.
I
From
had
where?
to go on a freighter,
What is a freighter?
like it's like a
Oh.
ship, like a tramp steamer.
A tramp steamer,
Yeah.
like your Humphrey Bogart in
Yeah.
1954.
Exactly.
I love it. So
And by
where-
the way,
but
I
where-
love it.
But where did that?
I love it.
Really?
I love it.
Okay.
Well, hold on.
Well-
I used to love it. I remember, I would tell you this one time I'm allowed to tell a story where I was very fucking pleased with myself.
Please.
Jake, my DP, used to always say, Shane fucking definitely likes to fucking dress up. One of the things was, which is self-deprecating, but if you walk around in khakis and have dudes doing this, you learn the hard way, you're a fucking target.
What's this?
Talking into your wrist, like security.
I see. Oh, I get it.
So what I found early is if you fucking put a chicken bone in your beard and wear rags, nobody fucking messes
A
with you.
chicken bone in your beard?
Like, just look like a bum. Just look
Right.
like.
Oh, I see.
So just don't have fucking dudes in khakis talking in their wrist, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
There you go. Okay, you're a smart man.
Right.
So anyway, I was reporting in Kashmir, and there's a very specific Kashmiri chapel, which is like the hat with the thing and the long shavar kameez. And so I just come from Kashmir, and we were going to Northwest Frontier Province to hang out with the Taliban in SWAT, which is like fucking dangerous, right? And so I was with my partner Sarush Alvi, who's from Pakistan. We were going into Northwest Frontier Province, and I'm basically a pink Irishman wearing fucking Kashmiri chapel. And so we were going there, and my producer says, fuck this. Like, let's get the fuck out. Like, this is fucking just too fucking crazy. And I remember myself and Sarush, we went into this guest house because there's no hotels or anything. So we're in this guest house, and the lady goes to Sarush, who's Pakistani, goes, does your religious leader require any special diet, right? Because there's no fucking way that a pink man in wearing Kashmiri chapel is anything but a Dagestani fucking badass. So he's fucking there for only fucking one reason. So we're not going to fuck with him. And so Sarush responds in Urdu, no, we just want to be left alone. Thank you very fucking much. And I was like, I'm fitting in. I'm fitting fucking in fucking Swat Valley in fucking Peshawar. So that I've got to say was the fun. But I remember driving in with Sarush in this fucking minivan into SWAT, and I remember just going, this is fucking fun. Like, this is super fucking fun. We're in here. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on. We're fucking reporting on it.
Yeah.
We're in the fucking middle of global politics,
You know
and we're
what?
reporting what nobody else is.
I always say, don't pity the martyr. He likes his job.
Exactly.
And I can compete, I think, with that story about you going into
Go, baby.
you going into Kashmir.
Go, baby.
I have a sweater that you will not believe.
It's so scratchy.
Comfortable.
It scratches my nipples.
It is so comfortable. It's like you're wearing nothing and you're still warm. Okay, how does that happen? How do they do that? I don't know. But thank you for allowing that to get to America. So Dagestan.
Yeah.
Let's educate to the public where exactly is Dagestan?
So Dagestan is like the southern, like, little tip of, it's one of the stands of Russia. What's amazing about
Near
Dagestan?
Chechnya.
Well, there's Chechnya here, right? And there's Dagestan here. On either side of the Caspian Sea, I believe, the Caviar Sea, whatever that
in
one is.
between, which is the Caucasus.
Yes.
The Caucasus Mountains are between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea.
So
we've lost everybody now.
The only reason why I know it's the sea is because we got caviar from the Dagestani mafia, and which was illegal.
But it just amused me that you thought
hold on.
the whole world would be laughing when you said, he's from like the Dagestani. And
Right.
they're like, oh,
But
the
the one-
Dagestani.
the one thing-
Stop it.
The one thing I wanted to say about Dagestan, which is interesting, is basically the Spetsnaz, which is the Russian Navy SEALs, like their secret fucking army, Green Berets. They essentially run Dagestan because it's such like there's so much terrorism going on. Basically, you have half the population, what they call going into the forest, which is learning to be like a terrorist super, but because like Wayne Gretzky used to play with a concrete puck. So when he would go in, and play with a real puck. So these guys
Baseball
are like
players.
these guys grow up under the Spetsnaz, under this Russian Secret Service. So they're such good fucking terrorists that they go and they become the generals or the colonels or the majors of the terrorist groups, the terrorist cells in all these countries. So when they see a pink man wearing Kashmiri chappal, they're like, fucking Dagestanis are here.
I see.
Right? So when you go on with your race business,
Right.
the white dudes are
Well,
if you're white and have a headed
but-
beard and are wearing
and-
some Kashmiri chappal, they're terrified of you in Pakistan.
But it gets back to my point that I made on your show that the Russians are white. Okay, even the Dagestanis are white.
People are fucking scared of the Dagestanis. They're the best UFC fighters. They're the best wrestlers in the world. And they're, quite frankly, I don't want to be weird, but they're the best terrorists in the world. They are tough motherfuckers. Stealing the fucking caviar notwithstanding, that's another place I don't particularly want to live.
Where?
Dagestan.
Dagestan. But okay, so if North Korea is the #1 place you would...
Liberia #2.
Liberia?
Yeah.
The American colony, Liberia? It's okay.
I'm impressed. You know, it's an American colony.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Liberia, for folks
Slaves
who haven't been, it's on the west coast of Africa. It's near Ghana.
Yeah.
It's Nigeria, that
Sierra
area.
Leone, yeah.
Sierra Leone, or that area,
West, yeah.
From whence these slave ships came.
Correct, and went back.
Yeah. But Liberia was an American colony in Africa.
Liberia, Monrovia is named after Monroe.
Yes.
Constitution written here.
It was taken over by a sergeant named James Taylor. Not James Taylor.
James. Oh, now you fucked me because I had.
It's an American name, but he made himself a dictator there. It used to be a very, I thought, desirable place to live.
Oh fuck no.
Never, at no time in its history.
No. So basically, the slaves went back. The American slaves promptly enslaved the Africans as a under the plantation system.
The American slaves
went back,
enslaved other Africans as slaves.
As the local Africans. So America bought Liberia,
yes,
gave it to our freed slaves. They enslaved the local Liberians.
That can't be right, Shane.
Well, it's
says
not.
Every Gen Zer.
so there was
that can't be right.
There were many civil wars, and it would be if you had an African last
Charles
name.
Taylor.
Charles Taylor.
Charles Taylor.
Charles Taylor
is the
very
name.
Bad man.
Bad man.
Very bad man.
Bad man.
Very bad. General Butt Naked became famous fighting against Charles Taylor.
Yes, General Butt Naked. Who's he? Did you ever interview him?
I did.
General Butt Naked?
Yeah.
Now, where was he a warlord?
Liberia.
Liberia, okay.
So he fought naked. His real name is Joshua Blah. He's now a preacher.
Now a preacher.
He killed.
You love it.
Thousands and ate them. Here's the thing. He was famous for going into battle naked, but also eating the hearts of pure people before he would go into battle.
Idi Amin also ate the voters.
Yes.
Which usually is not a good thing
not great for the electoral
politician.
But no, seriously, General Butt Naked, I interviewed him. I actually had Stockholm syndrome because I was hanging out with General Butt Naked, and there was all these other generals. And Liberia is a terrifying place because you'd be somewhere, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by people, and your security is like, I don't know what to fucking do. We're fucked. And so it was terrifying. We got one guy out of jail, General Bin Laden. We got General Bin Laden out of jail. Because they all take names, not the General Bin Laden, but they take names of scary generals.
Right.
He got him out of jail. Because we got him out of jail, we bribed the jail to get him out. And then all of his people surrounded the building and were like, oh, we're fucked. And because Butt Naked was so feared, he would get us out of problems. Like, there were a lot of problems. And so to go back to Liberia might be fine. I don't know. Monrovia is terrible. The worst slum I've ever seen is a place called West Point, which is the biggest slum in West Africa, and it is in Liberia, and it is terrifying because I remember I bought like some kids, like you buy like a can of Coke or something, and they put like a tiny little bit into plastic bags, and like you give it to the kids, like here, and then like the bigger kids come, and then all of a sudden there's a fucking like war over fucking this little thing of Coke, and I felt terrible. But like anything, like shoes, like shoelaces, like it is fucking survival. Like it is fucking whatever the fuck you have,
right.
I'm gonna fucking take it.
Right.
And like it's like you're like, that's terrifying. There is no law. There is no, and by the way, if you have, doesn't matter, I have no money, everything I have, I look like a fucking bum. Those fucking shoes are fucking worth something to me.
Right.
So I'm going to kill you and I'm going to take your fucking shoes.
Sounds like prison when you're not in prison.
It's worse than fucking prison, dude. I can't even describe. It's like, it's beyond terrifying.
So you went there. Did you stay overnight there?
Well, I went and did an interview there. And so I have this thing where whenever I'm about to die, I'm like trying to explain to my dad why. And we try to get out of West Point and people surround the car and it's bad. And the film's rolling and I'm like, Dad, sorry, we came here to shoot a news story and it got out of control. And I'm a stupid fucking idiot. And I'm sorry. Because I was like, this is fucking it. Like, this is like...
Why? Because they were surrounding the car?
Yeah, we went into the fucking worst place on fucking earth and just, what the fuck were we thinking?
It sounds like Black Hawk Down.
It was like Black Hawk Down. Exactly.
So how'd you get out?
Our driver just fucking, went apeshit and got us the fuck out.
Oh, you just plowed through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we talked our way out.
Oh, fuck no.
We had candy
No,
bars.
it was bad. It was very bad. The one
so
time,
they were chasing you?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The one time I talked my way out of that I'm proud of was we snuck into Mosul for that. Did I talk about Mosul?
Mosul, northern Iraq, where they captured one of Saddam Hussein, or both sons.
Yeah.
They were...
Yeah, sorry. That's Mosul.
Uday and Hussein.
This is Fallujah.
We're hiding out.
I got it wrong. It's Fallujah. So Fallujah, that's one thing. You had asked another story and I've forgotten because I'm drunk. But Fallujah, we were going into Fallujah because that's one story that we had. So, yeah, we broke the story on the American military were using depleted uranium shells. And they said they weren't. And they used them because they're really good at sort of vaporizing a house, and it turns it to dust. We heard this story that the Fallujah has more child deformities than Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Right. So we're like, okay, well, that's a story. So we went, and it was the precursor of ISIS was running Fallujah, this militia. And we went in the front door and they said, no, you can't come in. And we said, okay. So we went the back way and interviewed like the doctors and the kids and the things. And there were so many, crazy atomic mutations in the children from these depleted uranium shells. Thank God we fucking interviewed the mayor of Fallujah, because when we went out, the fucking driver went out the first gate where we had been refused, and they said, we told you couldn't fucking come in. So they take us down in the forts in in Iraq, they have these, they look like the triangular barriers on a highway, but they're like 20 feet high, and they're bomb blasting, and we drive down it, and at the end there's always a fort, there's a fort with machine guns, and in this one there's a field of rocks. And that's bad because that's a killing field. So we end up in this fucking killing field, and we're like,
riding over the rocks.
Sorry, there's like these blast walls. So you're driving, so it's man-made. So there's blast walls, and when you get there should be a fort or a fucking Nissan hut or something. Communications. If it's a field, it's bad, right? Because
you have to drive over.
No,
to get where you're going.
No, there's nothing there. There's a field. The field is a killing field. That's where they take you to kill you.
Oh, I see.
So we get there and we're like, oh, there's a killing, like we're fucking. And I remember my producer's a big tall guy, and he started saying, this is no different. He was speaking in falsetto for some reason. This is no different than when Saddam Hussein was bloody. Saddam Hussein, and how to figure. I'm like, they don't speak fucking English. All they hear is fucking blah, 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 Saddam Hussein, blah, 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 Saddam Hussein. Like, shut up. So we're there, and it's fucking getting really fucking like, oh shit, I'm talking to my dad in my head again.
God.
And I remember going to the guy saying, we were trying to call the embassy and we're trying to call the fucking dude. Everyone's trying to call everyone. I said, just call the fucking mayor. Just call the mayor. Because we had interviewed the mayor as a fucking favor. I said, just call the mayor. They called the mayor and I said, I'm trying to get the fucking story out about the children. I'm trying to get the story. Tell him I'm trying to get the story out. And it went from us being in a killing field to them saying, let's go have a feast together and you can eat all this fucking, bull's balls.
I always say that about Middle Easterners. They're either killing you or feasting you. There's no in between.
There you go.
My friend. But once again, Shane, I think I can top you with this story because I have been to all of Puff Daddy's freak off parties. Are you familiar with his freak off
You
parties?
beat me on that one.
Wait.
Thankfully, I've never
I
been
have
to a
been to
freak
all
off.
of them.
Wow.
Do you know what his code name is at his freak off parties?
No.
General Butt Naked.
Ah, ba-dum-bum. You brought it all around. You brought it all around. That's what Trump calls a weave. You just did a weave.
Exactly. Whenever somebody was like, get General Butt Naked, we need more oil.
You just did a weave.
It was like they meant go get Puffy.
I think that's going to be the viral thing. General Puff Daddy, General Butt Naked. No, that's even another thing. The new scary general in Liberia is called General Puff Daddy, and his nickname here was Butt Naked.
By the way, Puff Daddy, one of the greatest names ever. He should never have chained Diddy and P. Diddy. Puff Daddy. Perfect. Done.
Not as good as General Butt Naked. Come on.
I'm not saying Puffy hasn't done worse things. I'm just saying he should have kept that name.
Keep the name.
Keep the name. Puff Daddy was the coolest name. And now that he's not using it,
what would be?
It would be perfect
take it
for
over?
me.
You're fucking.
I am Puff Daddy. I mean, I literally am that. I'm those things wrapped into one man. But you know, people would think of him and the parties and
there's all kinds of legacy.
Yeah. Yeah, those parties are still going on, but they're just dancing now.
Okay.
So, okay, so we've covered the two, that's 1 and 2. I love this line of questioning.
Yeah.
North Korea, Monrovia, Liberia, a surprise choice to me.
Dude.
3 would be what? Third worst?
Oh.
Someplace else where you were thinking you were going to die, perhaps?
Kandahar.
Kandahar.
Yeah.
Okay, Kandahar, Afghanistan.
Yeah.
A very solid choice.
Home of the Taliban.
Home of the Taliban and the brave.
the brave Taliban.
It's odd they have the same anthem we do.
Yeah.
Home of the Taliban.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I've heard they're bad people, but are they just really misunderstood? I mean, look, everybody has different views on women. I mean, you know, look, Harrison Butker and I don't agree on everything, but you know, I don't think he's a terrible person. Am I wrong to think that it's the same way with the Taliban? Just
the Taliban have been killing people for a long fucking time, and they're going to keep killing people for a long fucking time. And it's look, I will say they're the best freedom fighters in the world because they never fucking give up. Do you want to go there if you're a fucking liberal wit who likes to fucking make waggish jokes?
Where'd you stay in Kandahar?
So that's a great question. You can't stay in, you have to stay again. You have to stay in guest houses, and they will report
guest houses in
Kandahar, and they will report you to the Taliban because it's the Taliban's home.
So you say guest houses, you mean Airbnb?
Yeah, like
No?
Afghani guest houses. I don't know what.
Well, how do you arrange the guest house thing? Is it a You don't want to go by a single email because that's what happened in that movie where Cameron Diaz switched houses.
You have to have local. You have to have local fixers fix you. By the way, if you don't wear like some sort of chapel in Kandahar, you're fucking done. I mean, I was there. You want to hear a crazy story? I don't want to.
Always.
Okay, this is the crazy. You like this story?
I'm asking.
You're gonna like this story.
I'm literally.
Okay. There's a guy named, the reason why I was in Kandahar, there's a guy named General Abdul Rizk, otherwise known as the Taliban killer. He's the Colonel Kurtz of Afghanistan. And what happened was, he was a young guy. His parents get killed by the Taliban, right? So he goes through the tunnels into Pakistan, into Wazir, Northwest Frontier Province, and he sweeps a floor. He's illiterate. Very, like, you want to talk about poor, sweeping a floor in a fucking Waziristan fucking, not rich. So he sneaks back in as a teenager, and it's kind of like the Artful Dodger kind of shit. They're wearing like Adam and the Ants, like right. threads of weird shit, and they look crazy. They kind of look good, I've got to say. Their style was.
That sounds like it's dope.
If we have an Adam and the Ants picture, it'd be great. No one understands that, but they look pretty good. But he started killing Taliban dudes because they killed his parents, right?
Sure.
So when the Americans invade, they say anyone who's fighting the Taliban, right? Come, and we're going to give them training. So they train him and they give him money. So he goes back. The reason why I say Colonel Kurtz is he goes back to Kandahar, where he's from, and all Taliban activity goes to zero. He kills everybody. There's no Taliban like in Kandahar during his period.
Wow.
He also becomes the biggest drug dealer in the world. He has $2 billion of gold bullion. His brother killed Karzai's brother, the prime minister's brother. And so I go down there to interview him, and I'm wearing like fucking full-on past due thing. And I interview him, spent 2 days down there. And the first day I went to go interview him, I pulled up to his compound, and there were 2 masks on the ground. And then they said, you can't interview him today. And then we had to go back. And I said, oh. And they said, oh, those masks were human faces. They were bombs, and they blew off their own faces off their own bodies.
It happened.
It happened. So I go back, I interview him. So I fly to Kabul, right? And Kabul, this is how good Kandahar is. Kabul is like Paris in the springtime. It's like there's food,
Right.
and there's
It's
beds.
the capital.
And but it's the capital. Kabul usually is people are terrified. You know, people are holy fuck.
Well, I mean, it's the capital of one of the worst places in the world. But everything I've ever learned about it was that if you have to be in Afghanistan, at least be in Kabul, because there was the government there.
Yeah.
And there was
just one hotel, the Serena, it periodically gets bombed or shot or attacked, but it's a hotel.
But it's a hotel.
Yeah. So Kandahar doesn't have. So when you come from Kandahar to Kabul,
I mean, why the brunch has to end at 11? I don't know.
There you go. So anyway, I get there, and the American embassy reaches out to me. And they have DEA, Treasury, and somebody weird. Treasury? No, it was CIA. It wasn't weird. It was CIA, Treasury, DEA. And so they take me to the bottom of the basement of the American embassy, and they say, okay, we're going to trade with you on deep cover, all these stories. Give us Rizik. What's going on with Rizik? And I'm like, what do you mean what's going on with Rizik? And they're like, give us, you trade and we'll give you stories. And I'm like, I fucking asked him questions in English. He responded in Pashto until I translated. I don't know what the fuck. Give me Rizik. Rizik is your guy.
Also, if you dropped a dime on Rizik, wouldn't you
100%
be then killed?
And also, it's not great to like drop dime on your own fucking sources and your own interview people.
Especially when the people you're dropping the dime on are the Taliban.
Also, well, not the Taliban killer,
Right.
Colonel Kurtz. But my whole thing is he's your guy. Why the fuck are you asking me anything? You know? So to go back to it, you're fucked if you do, you're fucked if you're out, you don't visit Kandahar. Number 3, bango! Long-winded, but I get there in the end, Bill.
Long-winded, that's what a podcast is long-wind.
I'm learning from the best. I love your podcast,
I love it too, thank
Funny
you.
as fucking shit.
I'm so glad you're on this network. You're perfect for this Club Random network. This is exactly what we should be doing. And don't worry about long wind. When I first started these, we did an hour, and everyone was like, you're cheating us, an hour. I don't understand the American attention span. It's either 7 seconds or 2 hours. Nothing in between.
2 hours if it's audio, 7 seconds if
it's just
audio.
Unbelievable. It's like, I don't get it. But yes, no. All right, so what's the number 4? Number 4, worst place. We have North Korea, Monrovia, Liberia,
I don't even know
Kandahar,
if it's a country, but I think it is. South Sudan.
South Sudan is a country now, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't when I was there.
And that is, again, a very solid choice, one that I would have guessed would be in the top 4.
Yeah.
No, South Sudan.
Was not when I was there.
Sudan, for fans of George Clooney, is where Darfur is. I say that because...
North Sudan. I've been there, too. I snuck into Darfur.
Right. That's
not recommended.
Province of Sudan.
Yes.
And George Clooney did a lot to bring aid there. And I mean, he has my great admiration for using.
He's a good cat.
Using his celebrity.
Yeah.
I don't agree with his wife on Israel, but
I'm not familiar.
We don't have to go there. Well,
South Sudan was not South Sudan when I was there, and it was grim. I had cereal that tasted like rotten chicken.
Well, I
remember that.
It's famous for one thing: famine.
Yeah. Well, no. Yes. Yeah. Okay. You're right. You got it.
On the tourist posters, it says "Come for the famine."
Yeah. Stay for the Ebola. No, but I remember going.
Oh, we kid the third world.
No. Well, Sudan's fucked. Like Sudan, much like Venezuela, could be rich. I mean, one of the things about Sudan, Darfur, so I snuck into Darfur. Speaking of Darfur, speaking of racism, all you hear about is Arab on black
Right.
ethnic cleansing, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And the reason why I actually went to South Sudan was I went to Darfur, snuck into Darfur. Again, stupid. Do not do that, kids. And and we found out that
How do you sneak in?
That's a great question. You can watch my documentary on Vice. But anyway, I snuck in essentially
Through Chad?
No, I was in Sudan, and I went with the UN on a sort of a relief plane, and I hitchhiked, and I got in, and there's a guy named Mini Manawi who was the head of the sort of he was the anti-Janjaweed. The Janjaweed are the dudes who have the bad guys
Yes.
and the thing. By the way, they look fucking great, but they're terrifying. And so Mini
They're
Manawi,
kind of the Taliban of Sudan.
there you go. And
The Janjaweed.
the Janjaweed, they were terrifying, like super terrifying. But so Mini Manawi was fighting them.
But not as bad as Israel.
Okay, dude.
No.
So
No.
they're pretty bad. I mean, I'm going to say,
pretty bad.
I don't know if
But-
anyone's worse than Janjaweed.
No, nobody's worse
But we found out when we were there that they had found oil, and that the whole thing was just a pretense to get other people off the land so they could get the oil. And they said, well, there's no difference than the Liberty Wells, Chevron, down in South Sudan. And we're like, what the fuck? So we flew down to South Sudan, which was having a full-on civil war.
That's how they became a country.
There you go. And so with Bashir, the guy from Khartoum, so we went down there, and I was filming this fucking civil war about oil, which I was like breaking the story, so I was super stoked. But it was fucking grim. I've got to say, dude, it was not enjoyable. So that's number 4.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, South Sudan, and I wish them luck as a country, and I don't blame them because, the bureaucracy in Khartoum, I mean, where all the elitists are in Khartoum.
That's true.
But, the real people are in South Sudan. I mean, am I right? They're like the people, not like
dude,
not like the fancy
the
goat milk eaters in fucking Khartoum.
Khartoum is so okay. So they have people like this all day long in Khartoum with machine guns pointed at the sky.
Why?
Because the Americans are coming.
Well, I mean, we did bomb the.
To go back to Black Hawk Down.
Well, also during Clinton's administration.
Did we bomb?
Yes, we bombed something that we said was building weapons, and it looks like it was
Port Sudan, I think.
It looked like it was a pharmaceutical factory.
Yeah, maybe it was Port Sudan. Yeah,
I think they were making aspirin, and we thought, and then we thought
that was Port Sudan.
They were making nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't get everyone right.
Yeah, no, no. Khartoum's not good, and like South Sudan was worse. I mean, it was. Yeah, so that's number 4.
There's a movie called Khartoum.
Is there?
Yeah. Why would I say it if there wasn't? Which is about the battle that took place in 1850.
Well, I know that one. Was it Gordon?
Yes,
Yeah.
1859.
Yeah, Gordon, yeah.
Laurence Olivier's in the movie.
Love him.
And
Larry.
What happened was the British conquered Africa north to south.
Yeah.
And the French conquered Africa east to west.
Yeah.
And they met at Khartoum.
Yeah.
And of course, it was wrong.
I think Gordon got fucked in that one, didn't he?
I don't. You know what? I don't remember.
If I remember correctly, the British. That's the 4 feathers, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff.
They got screwed.
It's
in
Michael
Khartoum.
Caine, and that one.
Well, that's another good one.
About South Africa, yeah. But
the Michael Caine one is Man Who Would Be King, which is Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's Afghanistan.
Afghanistan,
right.
yeah. That's Alexander the Great.
Right.
Which, by the way, come on, Alexander the Great
it's
in
not.
Afghanistan. It is, yeah.
The Man Who Would Be King.
Yeah. So they're in India. They go to Kafiristan, which is Afghanistan, because you have to go through the mountains to get there. And they think there's Sikandar, which is Alexander the Great, and so they think that because they're what's it called, with the plane meets the thing with the fucking Masons. They think they're Masons, which Alexander the Great was a Mason, so they see the Masons, so they think they're kings.
What's that? A club?
The Masons, Freemasons. Come on.
It's a club, right? It's a.
Are you kidding me? Freemasons. Come on.
Alexander the Great was a Freemason.
Well, that's in the movie. I don't know if it's for
Freemasons
true, but
can't.
the Man Who Would Be King is about Peachy and Daniel, who go north to fucking Kafiristan to become kings. And that's what happens. And it's Afghanistan, and they go, and he gets his fucking head cut off.
That's a pretty good Michael Caine.
There we go.
I think your history's way off. But anyway, I'll check it out.
No, that's the story. It's
so-
Kipling. It's Kipling.
Wait.
And the story is that they see Alexander the Great's thing, which was that they were Masons, so they become kings. And then when Roxanne bites him and sees blood, they're like, well, you're not a fucking god, so they cut the fucking head off.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
Like when you're on one of these shoots, like we see the footage that you get, which is, of course, a tiny percentage of the time you actually spent there.
Yeah.
Like you're in Kandahar, or you're in Monrovia, you're in any of these fucking hellholes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I know Trump's a bad person, and I certainly hate him and don't want him to be president. But, you know, shithole, it wasn't exactly wrong about places in this world. You're in a shithole.
Yeah.
What do you do during the downtime?
Jack off. Shut your mouth.
Wait, jack off?
Yeah, like it's a stress release. You're stressed to
But
fuck.
you can't do it all day.
Sort of.
Really?
You sort of can. I mean, there's a lot of waiting.
Definitely.
You know,
I understand. I understand the waiting.
There's a lot of waiting for warlords. You're in a kind of a shitty room. You've got no connectivity. You got no computer. You have no phone.
You have your dick.
You have your dick. Dick's always there, baby.
You have your dick and you have your mind.
Yeah, there you go. Just replaying shit.
And what are you jerking off to? That chick, I saw her eyes through the slit in her burqa.
Well, there's something called memory.
I know. I understand.
And no, look, I mean, you know, some of the best times are actually hanging out with the crew. Shout out to Jake Burghardt, like the best DP ever. You hang out with the crew. You know, you eat some chicken to go back to the worst fucking GDP, the best fucking chicken. Liberia is a great chicken. Like you have some weird fucking chicken, which is going to make you have the shits. And you spend a lot of time on the toilet, which explains the jacking off. There it is. I mean, what are you going to do? And, you know, you maybe do some writing, you do some reading. There's a lot of thinking, which is why when you're there, you do some good interviews because you're sitting there, you got to get metaphysical. Like to go back to your point, and you're a pretty fucking smart guy. You go to the metaphysical. You're like, well, let's get to what the questions are we should really ask. And so instead of just being like, why is the Taliban so mad at us? Like you're so fucked up, and that you get in there and you're like, okay, let's talk about humanity.
Well, right? Once again, Shane, I have a very similar experience. I was making a movie in 1985 in Mexico called Club Med, and we shot it at the Club Med, and oh my God, there was like weeks on it.
There was cum everywhere.
I wasn't in the shot for like 2 weeks in a row. What am I going to do there?
Yeah.
I mean, very often the tennis courts were so crowded we had to play double.
Sure.
I mean, it was just a nightmare. Yeah. I mean, I remember being, snorkeling. How many times can you look at the same blowfish? I mean, after a while, the whole fish was like, okay, why don't you take a picture, man? All right, I got to go back to my day job.
All right, bro.
This was so awesome. I'm so glad you're here with the crew.
Great to see you, man.
It's an honor to have you
on
the Club Random, whatever it is. Oh, well, you know what? Let me read my...
Yeah, there we go. Come on.
November 1st and 2nd at Vegas. The David Copperfield Theater at the MGM Grand. November 16th, the Beacon in New York. Oh my God, what a great. And then next day, Washington, D.C. That's there's only 4 more days you can see me live this year. The act is Off the Hook. You should go see it. November 17th is the theater at the MGM National Harbor in Washington, D.C. I think that might be in Maryland, but I may be wrong. They're all very close together there. Anyway, come out to see me. I may not be doing that much longer, and I'm having a ball doing it. And thank you. And back to work.
Thank you, buddy.
You every night, right? At Catch a Rising Star?
Well,
every night. There was a time when we were all there every night.
Well, I came in and out of New York because I was based here.
Yeah, but there were months and time, unless I'm misremembering.
No.
Because we would all go every night. It was like de rigueur. There was
you were the MC.
I was, yes.
Yeah.
Don't make me brag.
Well, I mean, we all have our past, but without our past, we wouldn't have our present or future.
But the name of that club, Catch a Rising Star, I mean, I certainly was never rising like from that club. I mean, I moved out here and then slowly moved up the chain. But you had, I mean, I remember like that was the definition of that club when you got King of Comedy and when that came out.
Right.
I mean, suddenly it was like, there was a few times when somebody like who was in your midst now is like on a different level.
Yeah.
And it was kind of awesome.
I know, it was just surreal, the whole thing, you know, the way it happened, the audition process, Jerry Lewis.
Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, I mean Marty and Bobby, that goes without saying because they're, you know, more contemporary.
De Niro, yeah. I mean, see, this was like we're comics and T-shirts in the club, you know.
Yeah.
So we weren't even thinking about movies. You know, if we could get a sitcom, that was the big thing. And
yeah, well, I wish I'd segued into a sitcom. I'd have a lot more money now. I mean, you know, I got paid scale for the King of Comedy, but, you know, of course, it was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I mean, you've gone to these places in this business, so many varied places, you know, both like big, like show busy, mainstream Hollywood movie, and then also lots of
avant-garde.
Yes, I mean, I think that's how people think of you. I hope they do. It's a great thing to be thought of, and you deserve it. Very few people are legitimately avant-garde, but you are.
Oh, I'd like to think I still am. I mean, at least I'm, you know, I'm still in the game of avant-garde.
Oh, I know you did New Year's Eve. Where's that place you'd order?
Joe's Pub.
Joe's Pub.
In New York.
It was so good they wrote about it in the Times.
I know, they did a nice piece on me this year. It was like, wow.
Oh, I have recordings of that. You know, I have you in my iPod. I hear it frequently singing Midnight Train to Georgia.
Yeah.
Which you ended at least one show with that.
Yeah. Well, that was my special, I'm Still Here, Damn It, on HBO when I was pregnant. And I never talked about being pregnant like every other woman in Hollywood. When they get pregnant, they use it as some sort of like cudgel or something.
Right.
Now, what are you putting in your drink?
Oh, this is just a little something to relax you.
And because you're not relaxed enough? Well, it looks like some sort of milky, is that THC or something?
This really blows everybody's mind.
What is it?
It's Jing. Jing.
What's that?
It's... You know what it is? It's a way to have diet soda, carbonated diet soda without any chemicals.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah. These people, boy, they ought to be my sponsor. I mean, I'm sponsoring them.
Why aren't they? Why aren't you?
Or maybe they are. I don't know. I don't follow the business end of this. I don't follow any of this. I just show up now and talk to whoever's there. I do want to know who's there because I only want to talk to people I like.
Do you miss going to the Playboy Mansion? Didn't you go there quite a bit? Wasn't that one of your hangs?
They had 5 parties a year, and I went to the parties. So I was there 5 times a year, and you'd think I'd lived there because they would always take pictures when you're there, and then they would be in the magazine. So like 5 times a year, my picture was in the magazine. So they look like, no, it was the Midsummer Night's Eve party. Right. That was where the women wore lingerie and the men wore like, you know, whatever you wear to bed.
What do you wear to bed?
A 3-piece Oxford suit. No, I wear a smoking jacket, sometimes pre-bed, a legitimate smoking jacket. Nobody always says, oh, Hugh Hefner. It's like, okay, he certainly loved his, but he didn't invent the smoking jacket.
No, of course not.
Professor Henry Higgins wore one in My Fair Lady.
Exactly.
And wore it well.
Do you wear pajamas to bed?
No.
Do you sleep in the nude?
I do not. I sleep in the nude from the bottom down. I don't.
The bottom. So you wear like some sort of a shirt?
I wear a T-shirt. Yes. Why?
I don't know. That's just so funny. I mean, the idea of wearing something on top but not on the bottom.
Well, because bottom's under the covers, whereas the top,
You get a little cool, like a cool
it's a little
breeze
too
could blow
a little
over
too
you.
cold. Sometimes I like it cool in the room.
I don't like being naked from the bottom down. I just don't sleep naked ever. And
What do you sleep in, Jenny?
I sleep in pajamas, pajama bottoms and a t-shirt. And because I like, if I have to get up in the middle of the night, whether I'm in New York and there's an emergency or there's a earthquake here, I don't want to be naked. I want to be able to jump out, jump into my slippers and hit the ground running.
What about your girl? You're still with your girl?
Sarah, yeah.
Wow, that's a long-running Broadway show.
Almost 25 years.
Congratulations. Wow.
It had to happen sooner or later.
Right. Well, no.
I mean, it did though. It did. It did.
I mean, yeah.
I couldn't go on like that. You know, I needed somebody to ground me, and we ground each other. But
again, you were like in a stratosphere that us comedians were never in and have never been in. I mean, you're like, your best friend was Madonna.
Yes,
and like, so, I mean, shit like that. And I'm sure you were at all the hippest, most innest places and parties. And
I was, but they don't even, but that doesn't even exist anymore. I mean, that sort of like level of groovy.
Really?
No.
Are you sure it doesn't exist because our time has passed to be invited to it? I was never invited to it the way you were.
But look around at the people who have taken, grab the mantle and run with it. Are these people that we want to hang with? I mean, I don't want to name names because I don't want to get into I don't like pissing contests.
Right.
I'm tired of that.
Right.
But for me personally, I mean,
you're saying the cool kids in the class are not that cool.
In this class, I don't think
That's
so.
what I mean.
I mean, fashion was at its peak, in the 80s and 90s.
Well, of course, they're going to say we're just saying that because it's not our generation,
but
and you just. I agree.
It's absolutely definitively true.
I agree.
Things are not the same because of social media, because of overkill, because everybody thinks they're a part of
people kept
that scene.
Getting just dumber. As far as
that's a fucking understatement.
No, especially with social media. And a lot of it is just reading, like reading a book. It's just a very passé activity. I think I mentioned this before, but there was a comic who hosted SNL one week, and he did a routine about how, he just would never read a book. It's like, page after page of words? Are you kidding? And the audience is laughing their ass off because they all obviously agree and completely have the same feeling like a book. What are you, nuts? We don't read books. I mean, we scroll at best. So you're dealing with, if people don't have some sort of, I feel like even cool people in the Studio 54 days also like new shit. They weren't stupid.
Absolutely.
Mick Jagger wasn't stupid, and Bianca wasn't stupid.
Well, certainly Andy Warhol wasn't stupid.
Right, wasn't stupid. And I mean, there were some just beautiful people there, but they were fucking them and snorting coke off their ass. They were, but there were also just people who were like. You went out to a club and it was sexy, but it was also probably intellectually stimulating. I don't know if that happens amongst, and again, we don't want to say the names.
Exactly. You don't want to say, for two reasons. I don't want to be in a pissing contest, and I also don't want to elevate them to make people think that it bothers me or I think about them, because most people I don't think about.
Right.
And it's just better left unsaid.
All right.
Let me ask you something that I'm fascinated with, and I'm so tired of this conversation.
But I'll throw out one name, Mark Harmon. No,
Mark Harmon.
I'm just kidding.
I am so tired of people talking about how you can't say anything funny anymore. And
yeah, because we do.
But you know what else drives me crazy? It's when you have conversations like that, the funny goes away. It's like, I want to be funny. I want to have fun. I want things to be kicky and crazy and carefree and madcap. So I don't want to like disseminate how things aren't funny. You can't be funny anymore. That's bullshit. Don't you agree?
Oh, yes. And even dissecting it is boring.
That's my point.
Right.
I can't stand it.
Right. And also, it's so stupid. Like after every administration, the press calls up like a lot of the late night comedians, and they always say, now that George Bush is gone, will you be funny anymore? No.
comedy will end and we'll all forget how to do it. And everyone in Washington will be so perfect and nonsensical that we won't have the.
Exactly.
It's just so,
well, there's no chance of that anymore. That's for goddamn sure. Let me ask you another question. There's so many things I wanted to ask you because I haven't seen you in so long. If you had your choice of what you consider to be the perfect candidate for president, who would that person be?
Me. Not as a candidate, but to do the job. I think I could do the job great. But
Why the fuck aren't you?
All of America thinks that. But
why don't you?
Because I can never win the job. And quite frankly, I'm not willing to sacrifice what I'd have to sacrifice to do the job. But it's a moot point because, I mean, are you kidding? I wouldn't even go on a roast, let alone put myself through a presidential campaign. The things they would say about me and you know, and not that I've ever really done anything bad in my whole life, but I mean, that's not, it's the perception and, you know, never married and pot smoker and atheist. And are you kidding?
But
I like my job.
I think that seems right on target now. I mean, I think that would probably be the best possible.
No. First of all, unmarried for my whole life. The half of them would think I'm gay. the other half would think, you know, well, the other half would be a lot more accurate. You know, I just, you know, like.
What would they be accurate about?
I like girls.
But we all know you do.
What's what we have in common?
Well, I mean.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in America, first of all, their idea about what is age appropriate is narrow, really narrow. Like I've seen a 10-year age difference be talked about in the, you know, in the tabloids. It's like, well, there's a 10-year age difference, a 10-year age difference.
You know, because you like to date women who are 10 years older than you. I've always known that about you.
Yeah.
Bill, you love an older woman.
I'm going out with
I think at this point you're probably dating an 80-year-old. Would you date Jane Fonda? Jane's hot.
I love Jane.
I know you're friendly with Jane,
yes,
right?
of course.
If Jane came on to you and like started making out with you, would you make out with Jane Fonda?
You know, I know the politically correct answer is to say yes. And I'm sorry, I'm just not that cat and never have been. I have to be honest. Like we should never castigate anybody for what their personal preference is, especially in that most intimate and personal of areas. Your choice. No one would ever.
Dealer's choice.
No. Yeah, exactly. But no one in this enlightened age, and I mean that sincerely, I'm not being snarky, no one in this enlightened age would ever
the golden age
question if someone wanted to be gay or trans, or so they also shouldn't question any sort of, as long as they're normal and legal, heterosexual.
Wait, what is normal and legal?
Well, dating someone younger than you.
Well, you would not date somebody who was 17.
No, that's illegal and inappropriate and not even attractive.
So at this point, what's the cutoff that you would think people would judge you for dating somebody younger?
Anybody less than 60. That's what I'm saying. Their window is so narrow for what they find.
Because they're jealous and
exactly.
they're envious and they wish that they had, you know, the freedom to date somebody.
I know all
everybody,
that.
Listen.
It's okay when Cher does it.
Well, I think it would
Which it is.
But it's okay if you do it. I mean, you're well established as a player. And everybody has always known that about you.
Yeah, some people are even always asking me about the Playboy Mansion.
Listen, I had a very, very...
They were fun, those parties.
Well, you know, I was in Playboy. I was on the cover of Playboy in 1992.
I have it.
And it's a damn good spread. My friend Michelle Comp shot that layout. And I wrote all the accompanying, you know, story. And it was a very liberating experience for me.
Again, these are things us other comedians didn't do. We were just
there's chances of a male comic, you know, like being a model is like almost next to nothing.
But a Playboy cover is iconic in a way few things are.
Well, I don't think there's any other comedians who've done that either. So
no, I mean Trump got it once, but it was very rare because obviously the cover was usually wasn't it the girl in the middle?
Trump was on the cover of Playboy?
I believe he was. I know he says he was.
Well, things are hard to be. I mean,
Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine back when we were in Catch a Rising Star when he was like, he was still, he was famous even back then, the
well,
early
yeah, you
80s.
know, and whatever. It was like he was just a New York kind of fixture. And it
Absolute
was
fixture,
like
exactly.
homeless, whatever,
Right.
you know, a bad businessman, but put up
Yeah.
a lot of ugly buildings.
Right.
I mean, he had already started to like corrupt
Yes.
the landscape.
But when he
okay?
was young, he was tall, handsome. What?
He
For
was
it
always
to,
an odd-looking dude.
I don't think most people would see it that way. I know. I mean, look,
He couldn't wear a suit. He had the worst taste in you know,
well, he had a
haberdashery, shall we
Yeah,
say?
that's true. But he was not going for that. He has a
That's for
he's
sure.
a brand. I always compare him to McDonald's or any of the fast food places because
That he loves.
the fast exactly, but the fast food places, for some reason, they know through testing of some kind that what makes Americans want to eat is the colors red and yellow.
Is it?
Yes, I guess it's like the ketchup and the mustard,
Well, that's
whatever it is.
perfect because he looks like he puts ketchup
Exactly.
on his face
The red tie.
and mustard in his hair.
Exactly. The red tie and the yellow head. You can do a character of him with just like a little dash of yellow and red, and you'll know it's Donald Trump. And it's the same colors.
I wish we could laugh. I mean, I want to
So
have
he
fun.
just-
I wish I could laugh. I guess we're just going to have to laugh
Of
because
course.
what I mean, what else is there to say? Your thoughts on Robert Kennedy Jr. The worm. Yes, so maybe he drank some tequila and the worm got into his brain from the tequila.
That's
Remember
great.
in Urban Cowboy when the bad guy that Deborah Winger like temporarily hooked up with took the worm and like this and ate it. It was very sexy and creepy.
I remember the movie
Oh,
at the
I love
time.
that
I haven't
fucking
seen
movie.
it. Oh, really? Should I watch it again?
Yes, it's you know
Urban
what?
Cowboy?
It is one of the best movies ever made. It's sexy. It captures America.
Right.
And Deborah Winger is like, she's next level.
Yeah, I mean, she certainly had a run there with terms of endearment.
Yeah,
and
and
Officer and a Gentleman.
Oh,
What?
don't talk to me about how much I love Officer and a Gentleman.
Now that one I could watch again.
I
Right.
watch both those movies whenever they're on, along with, of course, The Godfathers. You know,
Oh.
people can't get ready for me. My girlfriend, every time she walks in, she goes, "Don't tell me you're watching The Godfather again. If it's on, I'll watch it. It doesn't matter if it's like the long, you know, drawn out version, the one with commercials. If I come across The Godfather 1 or 2 and it's on, I will sit there mesmerized like I've never seen it before. I've been trying to like figure out how many times I've watched each one. I'm sure at least 100 each.
100?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Because I went to see it when it came out. My father took me to see Godfather 1 when I was probably 15 or 16. It came out in 70, was it 71 or something?
72 was the first
72,
one.
yeah.
74 was the second
Okay,
one.
so I would have been 15, 16, and I went to see it, and I've been obsessed ever since.
Me too. I mean, I thought I was bad, but that's, yeah. But it
I
is.
can just see you being somebody like, if we were hanging out and we were just like watching TV and The Godfather came on, we would just go, we'd put everything else aside and we would be laser focused on The Godfather. It's an abortion, Michael, unholy, just like our marriage. It was aborted because all of this has to stop. And she smacks her. Oh,
Right.
ah.
That's the one that's funny that of all the things, that's the scene.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, that is
Yeah.
a pretty, most people wouldn't pick a K, but she was great in it too.
Oh.
And that is a great moment. I mean, but
Of course, I was heartbroken when you know, the woman he marries in Italy gets blown up. Apollonia. And that was sexy. That was hot. And then there was never another mention. Does Kay have any idea, do you think, that he had gone to Italy and married this woman?
Well, you know, that's the kind of thing an actor probably has to think about because they ask you to know your backstory, right? So,
Right.
you know, like,
But I'm just wondering if that was ever like referred
well,
to or thought of, or there was some.
well, here's
But I
one.
don't think
Here's one thing we do know about Michael Corleone:
Yeah.
that he can cold-bloodedly stare his wife right in the eyes
Yeah.
and directly lie.
Yeah.
Michael,
Completely.
did you have anything to do with the killing of Carla?
I'll tell you once, and never ask me again.
You could ask me about my family this one time. One time.
No.
No.
Michael.
Right.
And then
Boy.
kissing.
That's why I've always thought the moral of this movie was women are pushovers. No, I'm kidding.
Well, a lot of them are.
I mean,
a lot of them are. Who was I thinking about, actually? It's like, oh, once in a while, I stay with my friend. You know Michelle Lee of Knots Landing fame.
of course.
I stay with Michelle Lee when I'm in LA.
Oh,
and we
wow.
have the best time. But she's addicted to HGTV. And I'm watching it the other day, and there's this
Shopping?
No, it's the house, you know, the where they do the house makeovers.
Oh, okay,
And it's
sure.
just it used to be fun, and now it's just total dreck. It's dreck. So this couple, they're down in the South, a husband and wife, and she's constantly leaning on him and looking up to him, and I'm like, this shit's still going on. I guess it's what people buy into, you know. People still want that kind of dynamic in relationships in this country, which is why there is such a backlash, you know, to women's, you know, abortion rights, to reproductive rights. It's like, I mean, what the fuck is going to happen?
Things have not changed as much, in my view, as the media would have us believe. I mean, if a Martian came down and watched TV, he would think we're all gay or trans or fluid or binary or whatever on the spectrum. But yet, The Bachelor is still on. That's always my argument.
That's your barometer.
That's like my glove that I thought. If The Bachelor is still on, aren't we basically who we always were? I mean, they want the ring, and they want, you know, I mean.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm sure that even at like the highest levels of celebrities, I mean, this is outside of P. Diddy's house, but other places, like even the ones you think are having the orgies and that stuff, I think the women are still exactly as women are everywhere. If you're really with somebody, they're not into orgies and threesomes and other chicks. And,
No.
And the fights and the issues that they have in their marriage are just like the guy and the woman who are living on $48,000 a year and living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Van Nuys. It's the same shit. Yes, it's easier when you have money and that, but it's you know, petty jealousies and seeing too much of each other.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, even if you're the beautifulest people in the world, if you see each other every day, it's so obvious that they get sick of each other. You could just track it through the pictures in the tabloids. Tabloids, I always say it, they can lie about a million things, but pictures don't lie. And when people are first into each other, the pictures, they're like, you know, you can see the laughter, they're looking at each other in the face, eye contact, and then
straight ahead.
And then
even with J-Lo and Ben Affleck, they're on round 2.
Right. And they've already got them beefing sometimes. I mean,
beefing?
when you're out in public and you're still beefing, that's an indication that,
that things have gone awry.
Well,
let me ask you something. Have you ever come close to marrying anybody? Have you ever been like with somebody and you thought, okay, this is it, I'm done.
Absolutely.
This is the one. So what happened?
Jane Fonda. The year was 1968. I was 12 years old. She was just back from Vietnam.
She just unflute.
I fell in love with her, but then I loved my country too much, and she was Hanoi Jane, and I couldn't do it. Jane Fonda, by the way, as beautiful a woman as there ever has graced Hollywood.
Gorgeous.
Right. Gorgeous.
And she's maintained it. I mean, you know, she goes through a lot to maintain it, but it works.
And what balls? I mean,
unbelievable.
The balls to the things that she did And the way
And it's still doing.
and is still doing, but like at a time when the focus was intently on her, and
Yes.
also like lived very humbly when she was married to Tom Hayden.
Oh my God,
Like-
beyond. She
like-
gave up. It was like, you know,
Right.
almost like monk-like.
Right. Well, it wasn't monk-like, but it was definitely
Well, for her.
middle class, like, you know, the washing machine is broken
Yeah.
kind of shit, and living in this kind of neighborhoody
Out of
place.
Santa Monica.
Right.
But guess what? She sprang back from that shit. She was like, I'm done. I'm back in Hollywood. I want glamour. I want to have fun. I want to have a hot house and be sexy
Right.
again. She's like, enough of this shit. But she has never lost her sense of social justice.
Yeah. No, she hasn't. I mean, she's out there still getting arrested.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, for the climate
For
stuff.
the climate, you know, situation.
I don't
We'll
know
see.
if
But no,
that's-
seriously, have you ever thought this is
Yeah,
it?
I was engaged when I was 29.
Okay, where were you at that time?
I was in my first house living out here on Orange Grove.
Drive.
Orange Grove. No,
Orange Grove.
Orange Grove. It's
Okay.
1 block east of Fairfax.
Yes, I know Orange Grove.
Yeah.
I was on my first apartment was on
Oh,
Norton Avenue.
No, this was my first house. It was.
Oh,
It was.
excuse me, in the share.
Yeah,
Okay.
California. It was the cheapest house you could possibly get. The California bungalows, but they were charming. They were from the 20s.
Oh, the best.
In some ways, they were more interesting than the houses today, molding and like lots
Beautiful.
of fine work.
Yeah, I had a
that they-
Spanish bungalow in the
Yeah.
valley from the 20s.
I mean, it was a neighborhood that was fighting for itself. I did wind up moving because the whores kept hanging out on the corner.
So it was
Just the ones from my house.
I was
No.
going to say, was that the breaking point?
No, no.
So
no.
who was the person you almost married? You were engaged to?
Oh, well, somebody I met in 1985, probably at the Improv because I lived there.
Yeah.
And I can't really remember.
You don't remember her name?
Oh, I do, of course. I'm not gonna say it now.
Are you in touch with her?
I'm not in touch. It's been a minute, but
In a minute.
we
Did she end up getting married?
I believe she did. She was from the Midwest. I spent a little time in
Where in the Midwest?
Iowa.
Ooh,
I spent some
that's rough.
I spent
Shit. That's as rough as the Midwest gets, honey. I'm from Michigan originally. At least Michigan's got, Motown. It's got some edge.
Iowa's actually one of our richest states.
In what way?
Money,
How?
farms,
What do they grow in Iowa?
food.
Well, I
Which
know,
is-
but like wheat? Oh, that's not Kansas, and isn't that more further
Well,
west?
Iowa's certainly the breadbasket.
Bread, is it?
Absolutely.
Jesus
how
Christ, my history is for shit.
No, your geography. I mean, it's. I mean, if
And my history, though, that's a second.
I mean, it also borders Illinois, so it's
Okay.
it's not that far from Chicago.
No, I'm
it's-
just kidding.
No, I'm just telling you. I
I
thought the same thing, but because of the Iowa caucuses we see every year,
Yeah,
but that
it's-
brings out like the evangelical weirdos and shit. Oh, I'm sure it has a million fucking rednecks. I mean, it is Iowa, but I'm telling you, it's not as stupid as you think.
No,
It's
no,
actually
and of course they have
well-
the Iowa Writers, lab where they do every year. People come and have these writing sessions. They're very intellectual.
they're making writers in the lab now.
Well, sort of. Along with meat and everything else. No, I forget what it's called. It's called the Iowa Writers
Oh.
something or other.
Do you smoke anymore, or did you ever?
I have never smoked. I mean,
You never smoked pot in your life?
I'll tell you something. Twice I've eaten edibles, almost ended up in the hospital. I hallucinate. I am a wreck. I'm just like, I'm too susceptible.
Well, you must be around them. I mean, come on, with that crowd you hung with, and where do you live downtown? Right?
I live in Chelsea.
That's downtown.
In the art, kind of art,
Right.
lots of art galleries. But
Lots of
people
art
don't
galleries.
smoke pot anymore, like in like social
They
situations.
don't?
No.
What a bunch of fucking losers!
Maybe they do. I don't know. I just like,
Did you see my shirt?
thank you for pot smoking. That's funny. That's a cute T-shirt.
Why
Now,
not?
will you sleep in that?
I could, yes. I may have. I may tonight. I could easily see having this
Are
on.
you involved with anybody now? Are you dating anybody?
Yes.
Somebody for a while or somebody? new?
Yes.
How long do they usually last? A year? 'Cause the last time I saw you,
This is
you were in my apartment because we hung out at Natalie Maines, who I had dinner with last night.
Oh,
She sends her regards to you.
I was just playing for somebody her version, Natalie's version of "You Can't Hurry Love."
Oh,
You know
it's
it?
unbelievable. Of
I mean,
course.
the original, you can't really top it, but she
Yeah.
does it such justice. I
Well,
mean,
you
it's
know,
such.
anytime she covers something, she brings something unique to it, and her voice is so crystal clear and beautiful that you can't falter. But anyway, so you were in my apartment. We were hanging out with Natalie, and you were dating a very fun woman who actually came to my show, my one that I was doing at that time.
What year are we talking about?
This was a long fucking time ago. I would say 2005.
Okay, I'm not. Yeah, okay.
So she was an interesting lady. I don't know if you were like hanging out with her that long. You might have been just somebody you were hanging out
Right.
with in
Well,
New
I
York.
mean, that's certainly in the era when I was very, very militantly trying to maintain my singleness, you know.
Your autonomy.
Yes, which I still have done. I don't think you know you can ever really. Well, I couldn't make it work with someone if we both didn't sort of feel that way about
You go your own
autonomy.
way. So
So
how
you know,
often
it's
a
all
week
good.
do you see somebody when you're
Oh.
in any kind of a semblance of a relationship? What is it average?
Doctor, I'm going to answer.
I'm curious.
I
This
know you
isn't
are,
for-
but I
this
want to.
isn't for any sort of like.
I know, but I want to answer these questions in generalities, and
Okay, fair
but
enough.
I do want to answer them because I want you to know everything about me.
Well, it's about time. It's been a
I
long,
know,
it's been a
and
long,
vice
long
versa, absolutely.
road that we
Hey,
haven't
you know what?
traveled
Someone
together.
wrote in my high school yearbook once, you only get to know the good people at the end.
Ooh,
Kind of reminds me of that.
wow.
Anyway,
Are you feeling mortal?
oh, come on. I'm 68, are you?
Yes.
Not a question.
I'm a year older than you. And I will be 69 in June. I was born in 55.
You
You're
look good.
56.
You look healthy.
Honey,
And like
I take
and
excellent care of myself.
you still look like you.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
look healthy. You know,
Inshallah.
yeah. You still have good features, you know. That's as good as we're doing as good as we can do at this age.
Absolutely.
Because as Richard Belzer used to say,
Oh, the bells.
we're punching 70 in the mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, Sparky.
But where the fuck did it go?
Where
I
did
mean,
I say that all the time.
but you know what the problem is? The 2 years or 2.5, 3 years we lost in COVID, because it jump started it. You know what I mean? It was like we were on hold.
Well,
and it fucked it up.
I feel like I lost 2 years to COVID.
Yeah.
And I lost 30 to being stupid. Like
Meaning what?
meaning if I could have just gone back and not been so stupid at
What would you
every
have done?
every juncture of my life.
You wouldn't be who you were or are.
Or maybe I could be who I am better.
Well, we all feel that way. There's so many things I
know.
wish I had done.
I know.
Things I wish, a couple of roles I wish I'd taken. More money I wish I'd made. But you know what? I read some quote recently, like, resentment or envy is like the poison that you're hoping is killing somebody else or something.
I remember after King of Comedy was such a sensation, everybody's like, what's she going to do next? And then the conversation was, what's she waiting for? Like, why isn't she doing it?
I didn't wait for fucking shit. That's just, I'm telling you, those were the years where people were like, I was waiting for somebody to come to me with something that was equally as dynamic, and nobody fucking came to me with anything. And it was shit.
What about the one where the taxi driver solved crimes? What were you too good for that?
What was that?
I'm just made something up. What was that? That's like every stupid.
Well, then I just reverted to doing my one woman shows because I didn't want to end up in some.
No,
here's the problem: the King of Comedy was a oddity. It was like it was a one off. You know you would never see another film like that again. And then they kind of reverted back to doing like you know, the Brat Pack and this, that, and the
Right.
other thing in the 80s
Right.
that I didn't fit
Yeah.
into.
No.
So there just wasn't, had the King of Comedy happened in
Well,
the late 80s, 90s, there would have been indie films that I could have segued into. There weren't indie films. Oh,
as
never.
one great manager once said to a client, you know what your problem is in this business, kid? Integrity.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You got it.
You know?
In the long run, it serves you well.
I
So,
can't
are
believe
you,
that you and I never even dated for a minute.
Sandra, I expressed an interest in Washington, D.C., and I
Where was
believe
that?
it
Where
was
was,
19.
what?
Yes.
What?
Okay. I knew it would come to this. We were both booked at Garvin's, which was the gig in, oh, laugh
I
at,
mean, the Garvins. I mean, you have to laugh at some of these
oh,
names of these clubs.
but you remember it.
Garvins, of course.
Of course. And
Of course I do.
right. And that weekend, I definitely, and you definitely not so much.
Oh,
And you know
well,
what?
I was a damn fool.
You were not. You made the complete right decision. And that's
Well,
what
you
I,
would just would have broke my heart anyway. I mean, you know.
no, I was just, I mean, at that age, that's what I mean about, like, I can't get back those 30 years when I was just so dumb about everything. Like, there's a good example, just if you want to just pick out a moment. If I wasn't an idiot back then, maybe I could have scored with you.
You could have.
Right, exactly. I could have, if I knew how to step to a woman, which I did not, which is not unusual for somebody who's 24 years old. But it does make life painful. And why wouldn't my life just be better if I didn't have to go through that stupid pain of always doing that? You know, I told somebody this before, but you'll be amused, I think. I was looking at this picture of myself that was taken when I was 28,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody was looking and said, God, you were good looking. And I'm like, wow, that is a kind of a hot picture. And I had this epiphany that back then, whenever I couldn't get with a woman that I wanted to, I always thought, I am not good looking enough because I got this awesome personality. And then I realized, oh my God, it was the exact opposite. I was plenty good looking enough.
Adorable.
Just an idiot. What's exactly my personality was the problem, or at
Well,
least some of the time.
I mean, who was going to give you the nuances? You know, I mean, who was going to teach you?
Yeah, I
back
never had
then?
an older brother, and my parents of my generation didn't do that kind of
No.
like.
Honey, are you kidding? No.
Why?
Fuck no.
What was your upbringing like? Were you normal?
Well, no. I mean, I was born in Flint, Michigan. I have 3 older brothers. My dad was a doctor, an osteopath.
Wow.
My mom was an abstract artist, very talented painter.
Wow.
My dad was abusive to my
Abusive in what way?
just hated having kids and treated my brothers like shit, and kind of doted on me. But you know, still, it was he crossed too many lines. And then we moved out to Arizona when I was 10. And we left Michigan suddenly. I think he had knocked up his nurse. We don't know. That's what we think. But you know, all of a sudden, like within 3 months, we left this life in Flint, Michigan, to move out to Arizona. My brothers are all amazing. We're very close. They're all like fabulous people. My mother was great. My dad left my mom after 38 years of marriage. Best time of my mom's life.
Is
And
now?
my dad is still alive. He is 101. He lives in Arizona, completely with it. He's totally estranged from me and my brothers, but we keep tabs on him, secondhand tabs.
And you have no desire to heal that before he
I
goes?
tried.
Oh, he won't do it.
No, he is estranged from us.
What is he mad at you for?
He's just mad at all of us because he thinks we ruined his life. He thought my mom ruined his life. We don't know.
Really? You really don't know?
No. There was absolutely no reason.
What is he? What is he? Is he remarried?
Yeah, he's remarried twice.
So he has a wife now?
Yeah, he's with a woman named Bonnie, who's a lapsed Mormon.
How old is she?
She's probably in her late 80s.
That's not age appropriate by my calculation.
Well,
She should be at least 98 for that to be age
no,
appropriate.
she should be 50.
How she should not be. You
I
said
mean,
he's
if my
one of-
dad had enough money, maybe she would be 50, but he's not exactly, rolling in the dough at this late date. But anyway.
But they're retired and they just.
No, he's still practicing medicine. He would if he could. Believe me, that nutter. But anyway, I wish him the best. It's sad. It's like when you know your
That is
parent is still
sad.
on the planet
Right.
and you can't connect.
That's terrible.
The last time I called him was on his birthday. He goes, "You're calling me on my birthday? Who gives a shit about the birthdays?" And he screamed and yelled at me. And I said, "You can't talk to me like this."
Oh my God,
And
that's so.
we hung up. It was so
terrible.
sad.
Oh, that's terrible.
But he's not nice.
Oh, I see.
He's just not a nice person. I hate to say it.
No, say it because it's true. He sounds like a huge dick.
He is.
Um,
He's very Trumpian in his own way.
Yeah.
And then the years unfold for a lot of men, as you know, and they get caught up in, the white man complex. Like, well, we've been blamed for everything, and this is this, and this is so, I think he got swept up into that.
Yes, I call it the Fox News vortex.
Well, he's definitely in
There
Fox
must be
News.
one of those swirly things on Fox News because they
exactly.
I mean, they Roseanne.
Wait a minute.
No, that's
Did you talk to her lately?
yeah. She sat right there like a year ago.
How was that?
It was awesome. She was on her best Roseanne that day. It's so funny. We did like an hour and 20 minutes. Then she went,